Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the November 10th, 2025 Portsmouth Town Council meeting. In the event of an emergency, if you would all please exit the building either through the door you came in, the door to your back left shoulder, or the door behind Mr. Reese, and we'll all go tromping through the rain over to the school administration building and wait for further instruction from our first responders. If you would all please join me in a moment of silence for our men and women in harm's way. Pledge of allegiance, and also a moment of silence for our 250th anniversary, or excuse me, birthday of our Marines. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. I'd also, on behalf of the town council, like to wish all of our veterans a happy Veterans Day tomorrow. Thank you, all of you, for your service and all you've done for our country. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Mr. Gleason?
Here.
Ms. Blank? Here. Ms. McDowell? Here. Ms. Patton? Here. Mr. Piero?
Here.
Mr. Reese?
Here.
Mr. Hamilton?
Here. Thank you very much. Just one quick note, I would like to congratulate Portsmouth High School's Sean Gray. He is the first Portsmouth High School student to win the state cross-country championships as a male, and he also won the New England cross-country championships this weekend up in Vermont. So congratulations to Sean. He'll be off to the nationals soon. So next up, we have our consent agenda. Do we have a motion to approve as presented?
Motion to receive and place on file.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes 7-0. Now comes the fun night. We have all of our Board of License Commissioners. We have a few that I will be recusing myself from, and a few that Mr. Gleason will be recusing himself from. And is that it? Everybody else is good? Just the two of us? All right. So first up, we have our Class A liquor licenses. Yes, no? Okay. First up, Class A liquor licenses, one for Ferrer's Package Store, one for Moriarty's, and one for Sanbev, which is Portsmouth Liquors on West Main Road.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. I will be recusing from Allen since my son is employed there. Mr. Gleason?
Motion to approve the Class A license for Allen's Wine and Spirits.
Second.
Well, technically.
Well,
you
so
can't
moved.
vote.
Excuse me, okay.
So moved.
Second.
I can't make the motion.
Correct.
So, okay, so the next license is Class A Allen's Wine and Spirits.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
Any opposed? Motion passes
6-0.
6-0-1. Thank you.
0-1.
We'll get this by the
We'll
next
get
one.
it. We'll get it.
Next up, we have a slew of Class BVs. We have Anna D's doing business at Anna D's Cafe on East Main Road, Migration Incorporated, DBA Blue Anchor, Fieldstones LLC, 980 East Main Road, Smith Harbor House LLC doing business as 15 Point Road. At 15 Point Road, Foodworks Incorporated doing business as Foodworks Restaurant at 2461 East Main Road, Graphics Coffee LLC, 205 East Main Road, Graziano's 501 Cafe LLC, 501 Park Avenue, Those Crazy Kids LLC, DBA, The Gulfstream Bar and Grill, 1 Lagoon Road, Locals Incorporated doing business as Locals Kitchen and Cocktail, 657 Park Avenue, 888 Restaurant LLC doing business as Mindy's at 3351 East Main Road, Ocean Enterprises LLC doing business as Public House at 600 Clock Tower Square. Rocco's Little Italy LLC, 880 East Main Road, Schooners LLC, 568 Park Avenue, Sunset Cove Incorporated, 706 Park Avenue, Tremblay's Bar and Grill Incorporated, 514 Park Avenue, and Dina Ochi Estate, DBA Valley Inn Restaurant at 2221 West Main Road.
Motion to approve the Class BV licenses.
So moved. Oh, second, I mean. I'll get used to it too.
Yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. I will ask Mr.
Next,
Gleason
we
to
have
do.
Class BV license Green Valley Country Club, Inc. at 371 Union Street.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 6-0 with one recusal.
Told you we'd get better at this.
We're getting there.
Class BV Ancillary Newport National Golf Club Incorporated, 324 Mitchell's Lane, Middletown.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Class BVL for Rehealy Incorporated, doing business as West Main Pizza at 1620 West Main Road.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Class D, Alvaro E. Vieira Memorial Post Incorporated, VFW Post 5390, 822 Anthony Road. Chief.
Mr. President, members of the Board of License Commissioners, regarding this license, I just want to bring to your attention an incident that occurred on October 25th. On that date, a Texas Hold'em poker tournament occurred at the location, the VFW Hall, 822 Anthony Road. The event was advertised to the public as a $50 buy-in for the tournament. This action violated Rhode Island General Law 1119-1 and 1119-20. The individuals at the club were cooperative with the investigation. I don't believe that there was any criminal intent regarding the violation. However, it did violate Rhode Island General Law. Because of this, I'm requesting on behalf of the police department a 1-year probationary term for the club with a review in 6 months regarding their liquor license.
You think this was just a innocent, not knowing that it was now illegal because it used to be somewhat legal?
I believe so. They publicly advertised this on Facebook. It wasn't something that they were trying to hide and do some sort of backroom incident. They, I believe they just did not know the law.
Mr. President.
Mr. Bear? Yes.
Chief, just reading, assuming Title 11 is having to do with DBR and Gaming Commission, did they get any penalty from the Gaming Commission?
I don't believe so. The state police were aware of it as well as the Attorney General's office, but I know of nothing regarding the Gaming Commission involved in this.
Ms. Madell?
Yeah, Chief, have you had any other concerns? This was the only one.
Correct.
Thank you.
Mr. President, should we do this one separate and put the limitations on the license?
That's the only one on here, so.
It's the only one
Class
on
B,
this
so-
section.
So.
Good.
If somebody would like to make a motion for probationary status for 1 year with a review in 6 months, I don't anticipate there being any issues that they're now aware of that it's correct.
I won't.
Me? No, I am not a veteran nor a member of the organization.
Mr. President, I would make a motion to approve.
With the 1
The
year,
Class D, no, it's fine. Fine the way it is for me.
I'm sorry, can you just clarify the motion
his motion is to approve the.
without the probationary
Without the
period?
probationary.
Then
period.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. We'll keep an eye on it, Chief. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Class D for AAC Beverage Incorporated, doing business as Aquidneck Country Club, Portsmouth Portuguese American Citizens Club at 35 Power Street, and Seconic Sportsman's Club, 145 Seconic Drive.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next, we have Montauk Country Club, 500 Anthony Road.
Mr. President, I'll be recusing myself on this one.
Yes, sir. I have a motion to approve.
Second. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0
Threw a wrench into it.
It's okay. Next up, we have a Class J for Newport Polo Incorporated, Glen Farm, Town of Portsmouth property.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next, we have annual Sunday sales license renewals for Ferrer's Package Store, 1965 East Main Road, Moriarty's Liquor Locker at 624 Park Avenue, and Sanbev Incorporated, doing business as Portsmouth Liquors, 1557 West Main Road.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Excuse me. Next one.
Next, we have annual Sunday sales license renewals, Allen's Wine and Spirits, Inc., 3001 East Main Road.
Motion to,
So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 6-0 and 1 recusal.
Thank you, sir. Annual victuals license with extended hours renewals between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. Cumberland Farms doing business as Cumberland Farms, 1218 at 1812 East Main Road. Aquidneck Donuts Incorporated doing business as Dunkin' Donuts at 1550 West Main Road, and Portsmouth Donuts Incorporated doing business as Dunkin' Donuts at 3001 East Main Road, and Drake Petroleum Company Incorporated doing business as Mobile Extra Mart at 1568 West Main Road.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0. Next, we have an annual victor's license renewal for Clements Properties LLC doing business as Clements Marketplace Incorporated, 2575 East Main Road.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? You're going to recuse. Motion passes 6-0 and 1.
Next is an annual victualers license renewal for Green Valley Country Club, Inc., 371 Union Street.
Second, second.
Motion, you make the motion.
Oh, sorry, I don't, it's not, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 7-0 and 1 recused.
6-0 and 1.
6-0 and 1 recused. Thank you.
Next, we have Montauk Country Club for annual victuals license at 500 Anthony Road.
I will be recusing myself, Mr. President.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 6-0-1. Your turn again.
Okay, annual holiday license renewal, Green Valley Country Club, Inc., 371 Union Street. Is
So
there a
moved.
motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 6-0 and 1 recusal.
So last, we have a peddler's license for mobile food establishment, East Landing RI LLC, 48 Crestwood Drive in Narragansett.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0.
Mr.
Make
President.
make sure we sign your recusal forms before we head out.
Absolutely. Motion to adjourn as the
Board of License.
Board of Licenses.
Second.
It's a long list.
I had to think about it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0. Next up, we have our minutes from 10/27/25. Any questions or corrections on the minutes?
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes 7-0. We have our tax vouchers of 2025-1110-01 and 2025-1110-03, excuse me, through 2025-1110-03.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I just have
Yes, we
one.
go. Yes.
I have a question on the looking upwards. That debit of 36,504.92. And could you give a little history on that, please?
Good evening. That they purchased the visiting nurse's property last year. They did not, looking upwards wasn't covered by the General Assembly legislation, which allowed that to be exempt. They were trying to get the exemption. So last year I left it on the books as exempt and hoping they, I'd find out before the tax roll. We didn't. And we did the same thing last year, and I forgot to click a box off in the system. So it ended up being exempt again this year by mistake.
Thank you.
So it's an addition to the tax roll.
It's an addition, yeah.
Any further questions?
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Right, next up, we have our town administrators report. Mr. Rayner.
Thank you, Mr. President, Town Council, ladies and gentlemen. Now, with respect to the curbside and transfer station numbers, Prudence Island, we're still at 92 out of 436 households, so there's 344 households not signed up on Prudence. Transfer station are 2,004 ticket holders or resident ticket holders, And curbside, there are 3,181 signups. So that's 5,199 signups for either program out of 6,474 eligible households. So in other words, there's 20% of the eligible households not signed up for either program in Portsmouth. Just a reminder that due to Veterans Day, the transfer station will be closed tomorrow, and curbside pickup for the rest of the week will be delayed by 1 day. So this includes the normal Friday pickup. So that Friday pickup will be picked up on Saturday. Bleeding into that, Town Hall will also be closed tomorrow. Probate Court, which is normally scheduled on that Tuesday, will be rescheduled to this Wednesday. And Town Hall will also be closed on Thanksgiving Day and the day after Thanksgiving. So that Thursday and Friday of Thanksgiving week, Town Hall will be closed. A Veterans Day ceremony and celebration will be held tomorrow at the VFW Post in Common Fence Point. The event begins at 11 a.m. and will include remarks honoring all veterans, a participation by the Newport Navy Choristers, and other special guests. The VFW Auxiliary Corps will host a reception following the ceremony, and all residents are invited to attend. On October 31st, officers Mark Brochu, Noah Payon, Jacob Lafleur, and William Sylvia were honored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving for their outstanding efforts in enforcing impaired driving laws. Each received a MAD Achievement Pin and certificate recognizing their commitment to DUI enforcement, education, and community engagement. And we thank them for their efforts in keeping our community safe. I'm happy to share that the new lighting at Elmhurst Park has been installed. The project included new poles with photocell operated LED fixtures to improve safety and visibility in the parking area. This completes a long-planned improvement funded by a $30,000 municipal infrastructure grant from the Rhode Island Infrastructure Bank. So thanks to our Public Works team for completing this project. Just another reminder that the Rhode Island Department of Transportation is developing a statewide rail plan and has asked municipalities to help promote a brief public survey. So we posted a link to the survey on the town website, and we will also post flyers around town when they arrive from DOT. All residents of Rhode Island are encouraged to share feedback. And lastly, with regard to the regular stuff I had posted, the planning board held a special meeting on October 23rd to review the draft sign ordinance. The discussion was continued to their next meeting on November 13th, after which they are expected to provide an advisory opinion to the town council. I'd like to also add that Rhode Island Department of Energy, Department of Environmental Management has released a draft Aquidneck Island watershed plan for public review. I just received this email today. The plan focuses on improving water quality and addressing non-point source pollution across the island. DEM is encouraging residents throughout Aquidneck Island to review the plan and submit comments by November 14th. There will also be a virtual public hearing this Thursday, November 13th at 5 p.m., which anyone can register for through the link that's been posted on the town's website. So, Mr. President, that concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. Is the link for the study also on the website, on our website?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Ms. McDowell?
Mr. Rayner, on number one, the curbside and transfer station updates, 344 are year-round residents, right, at Prudence Island? And of the 344, 92 have stickers. No?
There's 436 eligible households. I don't know how many of those residents live there year-round.
Okay, so what did that 344 represent? You said 92.
Right. There's 92 households that have signed up
Yep.
for the Prudence Island transfer
Okay, and so the
station.
difference, yep.
So the difference is
Yep.
there's 344 eligible households that are not signed up for anything.
Right. Okay, thanks.
Any other questions for Mr. Rayner? Thank you, sir. Next up, we have resignations and appointments. We have a resignation from the Solid Waste and Recycling Committee, which will make new old business number one a little easier.
Mr. President, motion to accept the resignation of Mr. Jason Spitalnik with regrets.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. So old business number one is a request to reduce the membership of the Solid Waste and Recycling Committee from 11 to 7, so that would make a quorum easier and have the committee actually functional. So, and then once that is done, they can rewrite their bylaws and bring them back to us if need be.
Motion.
I can't.
Do you want to talk first, Paul?
Mr. President, Paul Kesson, 15 King Philip Street. We do have 7 members. We still, I believe, only have the date of Wednesday. I'm not sure we're still going to meet the quorum. But 7 is a lot better than 11. We have, I don't think anybody didn't re-up because I don't have the statistics.
Just Mr. Spring
one.
Only.
So that went from 8 to.
But we haven't been able to have a,
7.
just to say it one more time. The people we haven't been able to get a quorum of 7 either. But
So your quorum would be 4 for the 7, right?
so the quorum will be down to
4.
4 people.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hopefully we can make that one.
If not, come back and let us know.
Thank you very much.
You
Yeah,
could
I
change,
just, I have a question. So the day of the week that you look at is hard for the rest of the people? Is that what I'm hearing or not?
I'm only doing it by participating in a meeting and finding out people aren't showing up. So I don't know whether it's Wednesday that's the problem, the time that's the problem. But again, that I believe that the scheduling was through Jen to get to the clerk at the top, at the police station. But there is no flexibility in that conference room, I don't believe, for any other dates.
So there's no flexibility and no.
I don't know if there's another alternative that we could actually get a Brown House
Yeah.
or somewhere else.
Use any public building as long as it's advertised properly, yeah.
We can use what?
Any public building, as long as it's
Yeah.
properly advertised as to whether.
May I ask one other question?
Sure.
Is it possible to conduct the meeting through a Zoom?
No.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
No commission,
that-
no
that-
commissions, or is that just me?
No. We can't conduct. We can show meetings on Zoom, but you can't conduct business through Zoom. So if you wanted to have your meeting via Zoom, at least 4 people would have to be in a quorum
In the room?
live in a room.
Okay, we can't figure that one
And
out
if
either, but-
anybody was on Zoom and were a committee member, they could not vote on anything that you brought up. So
Okay.
like,
So we could do Zoom as long as we still met a quorum
as long as you.
and we had the capability to do it. So it wasn't really no in person.
Whoever is
Four people
engaging in Zoom cannot participate.
Other than listen.
Yes.
That's fine. That's an option.
Yep.
That we didn't believe we had before. Thank you very
Still need
much.
a quorum. Okay.
Mr. President, can I ask a question? Sure. And this is just as I'm reviewing bylaws. And Mr. Kesson, please feel free to opine on this as well. Given the changes of solid waste management in this entire town, what serves the purpose of the committee to begin with? Because I'm trying to see what the,
Well, that vision's gonna come out of you guys after we have a discussion.
okay.
I mean, I believe that some kind of directive will come out. In other words, to resolve 344 homes on Prudence Island. I don't think it's me. I mean, we know by address who those people aren't that are participating. But again, to ensure that we get costs, like I have not seen the cost and expense for all the brochures that happened prior to curbside pickup being launched. I hope those were only launched against the curbside pickup. Because as I see from the report that I get from DPW, the transfer station is still holding a 30% recycle rate and the rest of the town isn't. Now, I don't know why that's happening. And I don't know how to increase that right off the bat because there are no standards that I have found in Googling curbside pickup and the rates. Wherewith if you Google pay as you throw, it's almost a guaranteed. It's nationwide program And it usually typically runs 30%. We're running as high as 36 in Portsmouth. It could be the age group. I don't know the demographics, but the people with white hair probably have more time sitting home eating bonbons, although I don't feel like I'm doing that lately. You know, and making sure the recycles get put in the recycle rate. We never had, and I think this was from the last directive, maybe not this one. We never had a return load at the transfer station.
Well, we've had them.
We had them for PI, but we haven't had one from the transfer station, and we've had some from curbside pickup. So in fact, that cost and the tipping cost should stay on that side of the fence, because that's what you guys said you were gonna do. If we can come with a recommendation on how to address some of these, it'd be nice. But I gotta believe that
We-
the
we-
2008, the
Not a
2008,
skew of the
Yeah.
agenda item.
Yeah, so I
right,
just
but
wanted to say
but
I-
you asked him,
I understand.
Yeah.
I listened to, but
but I
Thank
think
you,
the
Steve.
direction comes from you.
Ms. Burke?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. Cynthia Burke, 1360 East Main Road. So I just want to clarify this. For our meeting, and I did talk to the clerk about possibly the Brown House, but we're trying to get either a Tuesday or a Thursday. It seems to be the problem with Wednesdays, so that's why we're trying to move things around. As far as you said we could have our meeting in a public place, would that be a church or does it have to be a town building?
I think as long as it's advertised, you can have it at a church. As long as there's access to anybody from the public, you can.
Oh,
have it
yeah.
at a church.
Yeah, they would be. And
So-
I threw the church out there, but somebody said no, but it's okay to do a church.
As far as I know, it's okay to do a church. As
All
long
right,
as it's
well, good.
publicly advertised and it says, we're going to be meeting here.
And it-
We've had our meetings, Prudence Island meetings are at Union Church, so,
Publicly advertised and ADA compliant.
right. ADA would be another one, yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Motion to request to reduce the membership of the Solid Waste and Recycling Committee from 11 to 7 members. Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Next up, we have new business number 1, Rhode Island Energy. Mr. Watson, I know I saw you on Zoom. Presentation, temporary use of a helicopter for transmission project. This is for the piece that comes across the Seconic River.
Yes, that's correct. Hi, George Watson, attorney for Robinson Cole, outside counsel for the Narragansett Electric Company, also known as Rhode Island Energy. We also have Tom Arias and Cole Henry, who are Tom's the project manager, and Cole is the contractor doing the work. So if they could unmute as well.
Just give us a quick second. Kathy will unmute them. So all the abutters in the area, George, have been notified, correct?
I don't know that for sure, but I think the area that this is happening at, there's not a lot of abutters to that.
There's probably a half a dozen within the area of that last stanchion on both sides. of the
Right.
river.
So for that area, yes. For the area that they're also looking to do work and by the swamp and the golf course, I think it's just a golf course.
Okay.
Is that Tom with the? All right. Well, yeah, I can share my screen now and we can get into. So we put together just a quick presentation to show what's being proposed, and the reason we're here tonight is whenever there's a unique aspect of the project that people haven't experienced before, we feel it best to brief you about it before it happens, so there's no surprises or because it's kind of cool, we'd like to share it with you. So this project, if you're not familiar with it, this is the M13 L14 project. So it extends all the way from Canonicus. That's such a tough name. Substation over in Tiverton, and then crosses the river crossing here into Portsmouth, and then goes to the Dexter substation. The work areas that the helicopter will be used at will be the crossing over here, and I believe the swamp area here. Start with the landing zones. There's one landing zone right here off of Anthony Road. This is the tee box on the golf course right by 24. So this is one area where they'll be landing the helicopter and fueling it. The other,
I have one quick question because I did drive by there often, but that's a pretty thin tee box. How small is this helicopter? Because those power lines are pretty close.
yeah, I had the same question actually. So
Okay.
because I went through this with the contractors last week, and I had the same question, and I'm not sure if they've made it through their unmute process, but well, Cole's unmuted, but I'll show you the picture of the helicopter. It's not a big helicopter.
Okay.
Evening, everybody. Yeah, George.
So we don't cut power off to Common Fence Point.
Right.
George, I think you do have a picture at the very end of the helicopter.
And that's Cole Henry, who's with IB Able, who's the contractor doing the work. This is the other landing area. I think Cole, when we last spoke, you probably weren't going to use this area. Is that correct?
Evening, everybody. And Nick can chime in here as well, but we will only use that if necessary. And that site right there will not be actually a landing zone, just a picking up area of the long line. So we don't anticipate actually landing in that parcel of land.
And picking up is just picking up the workers and the equipment, right?
Correct.
So this is one of the work areas that I talked about before. This is an older picture. We can see the old bridge is still there. Cole, can you just summarize what the work will be? Cole or Nick?
Sure. Yeah, Nick, you can probably go into way more depth.
Absolutely. Thank you. So Nick Cummins here with IB Able, superintendent for the project. Thank you, George Washington, for the presentation and for the introduction here. In short, Town of Portsmouth, we are going to be utilizing our helicopter to string in new circuit ropes for the proposed new circuits, M13 and L14. And one thing that the graphic doesn't show is just how far away the new proposed circuit is from the old. So for us to install new wires crossing the river, the only way to do that would be to fly the helicopter across the river with the ropes attached. We'll be flying one rope at a time, and linemen will be in position from their aerial lift, and they'll be attaching the rope to the helicopter and detaching the rope from the helicopter once it gets across to the other side. So we're going to be doing this. There's 3 conductors per circuit, and then 1 fiber optic OPGW in the shield wire position for each circuit. So this will be 8 times that we have to cross the river with our helicopter to install the new. And then we have to remove the old circuits. We're looking to do that in January, and where we will attach rope to the old wire and remove the old wire onto a stringing piece of equipment called a rewind machine, and it coils it up, and it will also be bringing the rope across the river, and the rope and wire, it will be in a taut position, keeping it out of the waterways. And once the rope is through the next tower, the lineman will detach the rope from the conductor or wire and attach the helicopter to that rope. And the helicopter will keep the rope taut as we back reel the rope on the rope machine. This has to be done 8 times for the old circuit.
And what you can see on this graphic is that we have the new structure 40, which is over here. I believe you can see the mouse. You have the new structure 41. So you can see the span here is quite different than the span that was original with these lattice structures that are closer. So that's the helicopter. As you can see, it's not a big heavy lift Sikorsky helicopter. You can see this is parked next to regular sized pickup trucks. And that's what it'll look like when they're taking the workers to the structures. It's kind of hard to see here, but these are some views of the helicopter in action. This is doing a line pull here across the highway, and this is the view from the pilot seat. And again, some more pictures of the helicopter in action. And I not only is this a picture of the helicopter that size, I think this is actually the helicopter that they're proposing to use.
So just for clarification, you're going to pick up one of those guys on a rope and then hang him from the top of that tower like that?
Yeah.
God bless him.
Would you like a ride?
No.
I mean, it's I had trees taken in my backyard, and they did the same thing with a crane and a young arborist who I thought was crazy. So this is probably just one step crazier. But
Yeah, this is a little crazier.
yeah, but it's
Well,
well
thankfully-
practiced to do it all the time.
There were some ladders on the ground too. I think they hang from them. Helicopters.
Okay.
So that's it for our presentation.
It's almost as crazy as that guy hanging off the bottom of the blades at the wind turbine.
No.
All right. Anybody have questions for Mr. Watson or Rhode Island Energy? This is just a continuation of the project, and we're on track for project completion sometime in spring.
I believe so. Tom, can you respond to that?
That is correct. They're
Great.
looking by Memorial Day.
And if I am understanding correctly, we're doing one lane all the way down, and then we're gonna go back and do the second lane all the way down in terms of power, turning the services on.
That is correct. Currently, we're working on the L line. And then we're moving to the
I think Tom's in a bad area, but yes, that's
Yeah.
correct. One
Okay.
than the other. And that's they have to, because those are the only 2 lines serving the island and also serving Johnston. So you have to keep one of them in service at all times.
Great. Any other questions? This is just informational so that folks can, I'm sure we'll get 1 or 2 calls as to why there's a helicopter flying overhead. But Mr. Watson, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
Right. Next up, we have new business number 2, which is a public hearing for request approval for proposed amendment to chapter 215 of the town code entitled Harbor Master Appendix B, fees, fines, schedules, annual mooring fees. Mr. Grieve, you have been tapped to be the representative of the Harbor Commission this evening?
Yes, I have. Tom Grieve, 110 Thayer Drive. I'm the vice chair of the Harbor Commission, and I'm here because Abby is somewhere in the North Atlantic between Tenerife and the Caribbean. You have a new schedule in front of you. There's only one number or one fee that has been changed on that, and I'll get into that. But let me explain of what's going on first. Over a decade ago, when mooring fees were first charged by Portsmouth, the agreed upon objective was that the harbor would be run like an enterprise fund. By that, I mean that the harbor fees were to cover the cost of running the harbor, but the harbor was also not to be looked at as a cash cow for the town. What was taken in was to be used for the harbor. This way, only people using the harbor pay for its management rather than the general taxpayer, who may or may not own a boat, and the boaters are not paying more than necessary. For over a decade, the fees originally set paid for the harbor management and allowed us to provide for boat and motor replacement as needed. However, now inflation and an increased need to deal with abandoned boats has required us to relook at the harbor fees. The schedule recommended by the mooring fee subcommittee, which is what was originally published and you have, has changed slightly. You should have the updated version at your seat. When the full commission reviewed the suggested mooring fees, they strongly thought the percentage increase should be exactly the same for all user classes. Because of that, the non-resident mooring fee was raised by $1 more a foot to $14 a foot. Other than that, the recommendation has stayed the same as what was originally published. These recommended changes will allow us to continue to properly manage the harbor and to fund a derelict boat fund. That fund will allow us to remove a boat and then look for reimbursement from DEM, insurance companies, owners, and so forth. Removing the boat quickly is key to removing it cheaply with the least environmental impact. Abandoned boats rather quickly deteriorate or even sink, making salvage much more expensive. I don't want to mislead you that we believe we will eventually be paid back for every derelict boat we remove. Sometimes there is no insurance or an owner cannot be found. DEM is historically late with repayments and sometimes can find reasons not to reimburse at all. However, whenever we are reimbursed, all that money will go right back into the derelict boat fund. Any questions on the fees before you?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Grebe, as a boater myself, I think that this is actually a really good plan. It's incremental, it's not crazy. I just do have a question about the derelict boat situation. It's more from a place of ignorance more than anything. How many derelict boats does the town account for currently?
I believe there are 3. Am I right?
5 now.
5. There are 5 now. It has become an increasingly, as boat maintenance has just soared, just like everything else, a lot of people are just abandoning their boats, and it has become a real problem over the last 2 to 3 years. And that's the reason. And if we don't take care of it quickly, what happens is they sink. Then you've got the environmental problems of getting the oil and the fuel tanks and so forth up properly. It makes it a much more expensive proposition.
I understand. This is the month of the year that Amex loves me because. But thank you for this. This is
Sure.
Any other questions for Mr. Grebe? Chief?
Mr. President, members of the council, I don't have the updated numbers that you have in front of you. One question that came up, so the original posting or the original intent that I heard coming out of the Harbor Commission was for an increase of $20 for the residential fee. So 70, so our original resident fee is $50. The $5 is for the sticker fee. So that's why that's $55. If we go up to just 70 and that's what's listed, then that would now only mean that you're going up $15 because the $5 is now included. So I don't know the updated numbers. So the total charge should be 70 plus the 5 would be $75. If that is correct, and that's the numbers, I've put together the numbers, it should be approximately, based on the numbers that we got for that, about 27,000 and change for additional revenue. And we would have a slight surplus of about $1,400, $1,500 based on that number. If it is not the $75 and it's lower, then there could potentially be a deficit in that harbor master budget.
Okay, so the resident fee should be 75, not 70 as listed.
Correct.
Okay.
You get to choose, but the fee recommended was $70. That's the $5 is, it's a pass-through. It goes directly to the company that does our online moorings. You can do it either way.
But still needs to be covered within the fees.
Yes, if you notice on the spreadsheet, the mooring fines, we have zeroed those out. And that's almost a $4,000 deficit. That's probably not going to happen. People are still going to pay late. I can't remember the fines going anywhere below $1,500 in a year. So there's a little bit more there, but Chief Peters is absolutely right. We are recommending the $40, which is I'm sorry, the $20 increase, which is a 40% increase. And 40% was held throughout, residents, non-residents, and so forth. Your choice.
Are you aware of any issues with residents who get their sticker but just don't, or non-residents that just don't put them on their boat, so we don't know whether or not they're paid for?
Yes, yes, I'm sure that Michael West would love to come up and spend an hour telling you about the problems that causes.
All right, so my next question is underneath these tables, is there a fine for not doing it at by a certain point of time?
There is not. And we discussed that and decided to give the people one more year to learn, but that certainly could be put in as well.
Okay, so you're going to go with the carrot. Next year we go with the stick.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
That's our recommendation.
That's fine.
You guys, the council gets to choose.
Ms. McDonald?
So how many years have you given them already in,
I believe it's 2 years.
you've already given them 2 years?
Yes. Next year will be the third year. It's a new program. There were a number of hiccups in it. Getting people the stickers, it was not a smooth implementation. Doing nothing to do with Mr. West at all. It just so many new things that people didn't understand.
So you think we should give them 1 more year?
That was the commission's recommendation,
Okay, thanks.
that we would wait on a fine for that.
Mr. Gleason, do you have a?
Yeah,
question, or-
I just wanted to comment on that because initially I had concerns when I spoke to Jen West about this agenda item, that we include a section just for that reason to consider being able to enact fines, because there is no ordinance right now for, punishment, so to speak, for people not putting stickers on their moorings, buoys, and their boat hulls. And that poses a problem for the harbor master. So, if the committee wants to go for a year, that's fine. We want to have another town, public hearing on it, we could move in that direction as well, whatever.
Well, as it's written now, we could do something tonight if we wanted to, otherwise. we'd have to bring
I
it back.
agree, we could.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's just no backup.
Can I just,
Sure.
I would strongly advise doing another year, as much as if if everything was perfect in the world. There have been issues as someone that has a sticker on a mooring. There's been adhesion issues for those of us that are in Potter's Cove to the moorings that we do have. The boats, the one that goes on the boat are fine. But I think once we get some of the hiccups going, then I would say definitely give them the stick. But doing 1 more year to get through those hiccups would be beneficial to those of us in the boating community here in town.
Does that mean we need $10 stickers instead of $5 stickers?
No,
I was just asking. I mean, if we don't have enough glue for $5, maybe $10 would do it. Okay. Kathy, if you can bring up Pat Rossi, please. Sure, go ahead.
Do you expect delays in this year's sticker as well? The previous delays you had in getting stickers out to residents
I
and-
believe,
and users?
Michael, you want to talk about that? Okay, we'll get the big guy here.
We'll get you in a second, Pat.
We don't anticipate any delays. The delays in the past, so if you recall, it was mid-budget year when the original stickers were passed. So the envelopes, the postage was not covered. So the first year we were having people come to the police station. We've made those corrections. This current budget has it. So we have envelopes, we have postage, so they'll all be mailed to individuals this year.
Are there any other holdups for getting people up to date? Are there any other roadblocks?
No.
Initially, did your $70 that we have proposed here cover that $5 fee mentioned earlier?
Yes, when we looked at this is slightly below what we would need for $9,000 for the boat, or for the derelict boat fund. And we thought it was likely that it would be covered by the fines that we have not. Again, it's a budget. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. But that was our consideration.
Okay, thank you.
And as I often say, we're an advisory committee and you don't have to take our advice.
I appreciate your time looking into this.
Okay, Pat, thank you for your patience there.
Good evening, Pat Rossi, 896 Neck Palm Road, Prudence Island. I am on the Harbor Commission also, and the sticker program is everything they said, going out slow. It's a work in progress. The fine for it would, I believe, go under the ordinance and not so much under the fee structure. We have been looking at it as there is a fine on mooring tackle or your mooring ball not having its numbers, kind of attaching it with that, and then there'll be a fee if they haven't done it. I don't know that that is going to happen this year or next year, be presented. That's a work in progress. But going back to the increase on the moorings, I just want to say that we all had different opinions about it when reviewing it, but one of the real consensus was to keep it all at 40% seemed fair and to the residents and the commercial and the guests and the non-residents, instead of this one 40, this one 30, this one 17. None of that makes sense, just across the board. And with the 40%, I believe that does cover the sticker, maybe not as much as one would like. I want to say maybe $2 a sticker is not on it, somewhere around there. But as a person that uses a boat to get to my property, and as you know, Hog Island, they don't even have a ferry. They have to use a boat. They have to have a mooring to get to their property, which they are taxpayers to the town of Portsmouth. I think it's realistic that we try to keep our resident fee as even keel as we can. And that's all I'm going to say about it at this point, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Pat. Appreciate it. So I think our,
I want everybody to know at the very far right lower, you can see that these fee increases increase the revenue over last year's, using the same numbers, by about $22,000, and that's without any late fees. So that's the sort of increase that we're looking at here, which will cover the increase for the derelict boat fund, as well as the other increases that we've had over quite a while. And the other thing is that what Pat brought up, the 40% overall, you'll notice that the commercial moorings have what looks like a 17% increase. And that is true, but about 5 years ago, in order to pay for some equipment, we raised the commercial fee from $250 to $300. So they have really, at this point in time, been raised $100 on a $250 fee, which is 40%. So everybody, all the classes did get a 40% raise, which is what the commission wanted to make sure everybody was treated fairly.
But if everybody paid the $55 last year and a 40% increase would be $77, we're only going to go to 75.
All right.
You're $2
Yeah.
short.
Yeah,
You're $2 in the plus.
and your math is excellent.
And also the 21,000 doesn't account for the deduction of the current sticker fee or the
Correct.
processing of the sticker fee.
Right.
Mr. President, we're trying to keep track of what the fields are. We don't have this info, so all we've
That's
got
okay.
is what's in the break.
That's okay. Well, everything is the same except for that one thing. So we will.
Okay. Thank you.
And
Just,
we will properly enunciate each fee.
Just lastly, if I could just support the increase, I appreciate the Harbor Commission coming forward. We definitely need an increase. Like I mentioned before, there's 5 derelict boats that are happening. Last year we had 1. Now we have 5, and we're charging these individuals in municipal court. They're not coming forward, then they're refusing to pay any fees, any fines associated with it. So we're dealing with that on that end. But now we're left with these boats and we have to do something with them. And we're trying to get the state to pay for them, and we're trying to do certain things, but we just need some money to support our needs to clear up our coastline.
Thank you, Chief. So that begs 2 questions. One, Mr. Rayner, in December, we're going to have a discussion with our state legislators. Might we want to put this on there in terms of strengthening and making DEM step up and actually handle the program that they were assigned to take care of? Can we put that on there as one of our agenda items?
Capital idea.
Thank you. Secondly, we would have to rewrite the ordinance to put any more teeth into it in terms of municipal court, where I don't want to go as far as saying if somebody has a derelict boat and it's costing us $20,000 to remove it, and they own another property in town, that we could lien the property to recover the money if we can't recover it in some other way. But we would have to completely rewrite the ordinance and have another public hearing for that.
I believe that's correct. That would
Okay.
be a different region. I'm curious, Chief, if you know, are you keeping these boats in a private marina and paying for storage?
We're
And
not.
Do you know if the town, I don't know this answer, but I can certainly find out. Do you know if the town is allowed to auction off an abandoned boat like a private marina would be?
So these are all, I believe one may have very minimal value, but these are all just derelict boats. So these are people that are buying them off of Facebook Marketplace. They're using them, and when they no longer work, they're just leaving them. And we've had people that literally said that it is the town's problem now, deal with it, and walked away. And they live in other communities.
Oh, that makes
So-
the lien issue a lot easier for me.
Yeah, so we're dealing with that. We have one individual who has 2 boats that they got, I believe, off Facebook Marketplace or something similar. And we're dealing with it with both of his boats. Right now, we have 2 individuals from Middletown who have just left their property here. And then our 5th boat is someone who we don't know who it belongs to. We've traced it back to someone in Smithfield who then sold their boat to someone else. So we're trying to track it down, but these are all just junk that's been left on our shoreline. Some's been attached to other people's moorings, so we've had to deal with that issue with it damaging their mooring. Or one we had last year was on someone's winter stick, so it causes issues. So it's a big issue, but and we're willing to take care of it, but we just don't have. We need the money and the funds to and the ordinance to back it up.
Okay.
Can I, question?
Mike, yes.
In your experience, Chief? No, it's okay. In your experience, in the past, has it been mostly out of town?
It's funny, this is almost like a relatively new problem. We really didn't deal with this. It was usually people who were legitimate boat owners, and perhaps there was an issue and they dealt with it. Last year was really one of our first years. We had a resident of New York that was coming through town. And that was really the first year, and they attached it to the winter stick. That was last year. So this is almost a relatively new concept that's occurring where people are just walking away from their property. So unfortunately, I have nothing to base it on in the past.
If I could just add to that, I think the one you mentioned from New York was a Roger Williams student. So they left a boat here when they left the campus. And the other one that comes to mind was a boat in Bluebill Cove that was a sailboat that a fellow
Correct.
from Newport abandoned there.
Correct. I figured about that one a few years ago.
That
And-
somebody ended up torching.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
maybe that's a solution,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, no. Ms. McDowell?
So is this a phenomenon that is happening in other municipalities where the derelict boats are increasing and the problem is increasing? Or is Portsmouth kind of unique to this in terms of the increase in the derelict?
I've asked around. It seems because Portsmouth has most coastline in the state that we're more susceptible to this and
Okay.
people coming and traveling through. Plus you get boats that might come from other parts and during storms, they've washed up. That's the boat that's behind Lambie Circle that came in a storm. So I think just because of our location and our geographical issues that we're dealing with it.
Thank you.
All right, so let's deal with what's on the agenda tonight. And then maybe at the start of the next year, we can look at upping this, changing this ordinance to put some more teeth in it for the harbor master and the police to help pay for these. And we'll also discuss it with our legislatures on the 8th of December. So the fees as presented to us in the backup were 70, 13, 350, 70, 10, and 10. But hearing from the chief, that does not include the $5 for the stickers, which a 40% increase would actually be 77. But we'll split the difference to say 75. So do we have a motion to adjust the, yep. Harbor Master West.
Yeah, Mike West Harbor Master. Just so everyone knows, the sticker fees and there's an online mooring administrative fee. That is not included in the mooring fees. The $50 is for your permit to have a mooring, to put a mooring in Portsmouth waters. The $70 is, so the mooring fee would plus up 20. The non-resident fee will plus up to $4 from $10 per foot to $14 a foot. Your mooring, your sticker stays the same. Your online mooring fee, the administrative fee we pay to online mooring to manage our mooring field maintenance is staying the same. Those are separate and apart from mooring fees. Is everybody tracking?
Do we need a secondary line item that we don't have in here to
No.
cover that?
No, your mooring fee plus up will be $70. Your commercial fee will be $350. Your guest fee will be $70. I would think the outhaul probably should also be $70 because that's basically considered a guest and only riparian properties can have those. So that should be 50 to 70, 10 to 14 should get you there. We tracking?
I think what you're asking, Mr. President, is should the fee list include those fixed fees beyond the $70, for example?
So $7 plus applicable fees.
Just another line on the list that says $5 sticker fee, or was it $20 for?
It's going from, currently it's listed and our schedule is going from 55 to 70. Yeah. But that doesn't go up to $20. That's in the fee schedule, which would be.
I just want to make sure that they're authorized to collect and pass through that $5.
So from the chief, I guess the ordinance says 55. You have a copy of 215?
Yep.
No.
So that's the ordinance that was signed by the council. So
Okay.
again, so the ordinance that was signed by the council, so that was November 10th, 2025, listed the resident fee is $55 because when the
That would have been
Harbor
2024,
Commission,
right?
2020.
Yeah.
3.
That was pushed for this, that's what was.
They would've started.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the one that was pushed for today is the amendment. So the one that was last passed, that listed $55 because the commission came in front, wanted the $5 added. And when it was written up, it said $55. Nobody's charged any more than that. It's $50 plus the 5. So if we're gonna raise it to 70, that would mean that it would only be $15 increase. We need 70 for the actual mooring fee and 5 to continue with the sticker program. So a total charge of $75.
That's what the 5 is.
Okay.
For, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pat, you're back again. Just a second while Kathy turns on.
Yeah, no, I just remember back when we went $50, they added the 5 for online mooring fee back then. And that's where the 55 came from.
Okay.
But it was my belief when you go on to online mooring, it says 50 for your mooring, 5 for online mooring. And I thought that's where the sticker, $77 for the sticker came in.
Okay. So.
But that $5 was on.
We're going to split the difference. 40% increase is $77. We're going to be at 75. If people want to quibble over $5, tell them to contact the administrator. No, just kidding.
Stop.
So. And then we can revisit the changing of the ordinance to try and work on the derelict boats. So
So
do we,
wait, what are we doing?
I would, we're gonna do 75, 14, 350, 70, 10, and 10. If I'm looking at the ordinance sheet, that's that one right there. So the fee schedule that was given to us tonight would be, it had the 14, but didn't have the 75. So as suggested by the chief, it would be 75, 14, 350, 70, 10, and 10.
Out halls would be 70.
Yeah.
And outhauls, yes, if you want to make that change as presented by the harbor master, yes. So you want to take them one at a time? All right.
So, take a stab here to, make changes to the, harbor master ordinance amendment, starting with resident fees increasing to $75.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
The next change would be non-residents going to $5 plus $14 per foot of vessel.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Okay. Commercial mooring fees would increase to $350.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Outhauls increase to, we say $70?
Yes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Guest fees for residents only would increase to $70.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Okay. Wait list, increases to $10.
Should it also say annually, because that's what the document in front of us says.
Wait list increases to $10 annually.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. I think that's technically a new fee, correct?
It was used to be a one-time fee.
Okay. Thank you.
And application fee, I assume is also $10 yearly as well.
That's, I believe, a one-time fee.
A one-time,
When you first apply.
Yeah, that'd be one time.
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
And the late fee after March 15th would remain the same at $100 and the annual mooring inspector fee remains at $50.
Okay. Any further questions on that? Mr. Grieve, thank you very much. Mr. West, Chief Peters, thank you. Ms. McDowell?
Could I just say that I know we're going to approach the delegation for legislation regarding some help with this, but could we also put on an expedited path to work on that ordinance?
Yes, we'll do that in the early part of the new year. We'll task the solicitor to look into it and the language, and also as to we can
Yep.
do the liens potentially.
Thank you.
Yes. Next up, new business number 3, South Coast Wind Energy LLC, post-hearing
President.
memorandum. Hello.
We didn't close the public hearing.
Oh,
Okay, motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Excuse me, motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, for keeping us somewhere in line.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, now on to new business number 3, South Coast Wind Energy LLC, post-hearing memorandum for Rhode Island Energy Facility Siting Board docket SB 2022-2. Ms. Patton.
Thank you. I had put this on here, just, I saw that, and then after I saw that the, energy, facility siting, went ahead and, overruled the town's, denial of the variance. And I just wanted to put it on here to talk about, the noise for the residents that are going to be in that area. And if there was any options that the town could set or come up with, going forward.
Unfortunately, no. I know the request has been made or was made to the folks at South Coast in order to potentially relocate folks during the noisy periods. Again, it was an energy facility siting board just chose to ignore our recommendation of the variance or not approval of the variance. And unfortunately, the way state law is written, they kind of have the final say in that. But I do believe that there has been discussion of being able to relocate folks during the noisy times.
Proper notice, things like that will be sent out to. Okay. Thank you.
They should.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, honestly, realistically, it may never happen. And I would think it's a few years down the line. I think if is it 5 years that they have to do it? Is it 4? It's either, there's a time period where this lapses that they put into the decision.
I think you might be right. I think it's 5 years,
Yeah.
but they're anticipating 4 before they even get started again.
Yeah. If South Coast does not go forward within the 5-year period, I believe it's 5 years, then the approval lapses and they have to start all over again.
Mr. President, I would just like to say I agree with Councilor Patton that we should protect our neighbors as best we can. And it's mostly people in the Valhalla neighborhood and one section of Common Fence Point. Chairman Guratowski has suggested that he thinks that if this were to happen, at South Coast could employ the proper mitigation efforts, but short of building a 30-foot wall like they did on the gas project on Mill Lane, I don't know how you keep the noise down. So I thought a good faith effort would be to put people up, give them the option of putting them up in a motel. Obviously, the EFSB has the ultimate say, but it wouldn't prohibit us from sending a letter to Mr. Guratowski with our opinion that we would like to go in that route, should it happen. Question. I mean, I would like to make a motion to that effect, that we address a letter to him. And I have one specific, but is that something we could do?
I don't know if we could
Or
do
we
that
wasting our-
tonight, just because of the way it's written. I'm not sure. Can we do it the way it's written, to write a letter requesting? Or should we put that specifically on the next agenda with the letter so we can all read it?
But I think you could direct the administration to prepare a letter, for future approval.
Just to be safe.
Sure. Okay. Very good.
So you want to make a motion?
You wanna make a motion?
To that effect? To request the administration write a letter for us to approve.
Oh,
at the next
no,
meeting.
wait till the next meeting and do it. We've got enough to cover us.
I think you can request that it be drafted now, but just have it come
And then
back
we
to
approve
council
it at the next meeting.
for consent agenda approval down the road or whatever.
I'll tell you what I have here that I had written down. And basically, my motion would be for the council to address a letter. In this case, the town administrator could address a letter to Chairman Guratowski of the Energy Facility Siting Board, asking for South Coast to consider paying for overnight accommodations for residents close to or impacted by noise generated by horizontal directional drilling and dewatering equipment due to the quote, around the clock, unquote, operation of said equipment between the hours of 9 PM to 7 AM. I know it's a lot. I could hand it to the clerk.
If you could just either hand it to the
If
clerk or
anybody,
email it
if
to.
I get a second.
Yeah,
I'll second your motion.
okay, good. And we'll bring this back onto the next agenda for approval. Okay, we do in a second, yes, 'cause Mr. Kesson just stood up to ask a question. So I'm gonna allow him to do that.
So the sighting board ignored the variance that was 69 dB of noise?
The zoning board chose to ignore our request that they do not provide a variance to go over our set noise limits.
So what is their noise limits?
There isn't any,
It's infinity?
pretty much.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty sad.
So there's a motion and a second to create a letter that will be voted on in the next meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-1. Next up, we have a proposed amendment to the town's retirement plan, 457 and 401A pursuant to the Secure 2.0 Act requesting loan roll-in options for Public Works Union members. Mr. Rayner and Ms. Lisa, at some point probably.
Thank you, Mr. Council, Chairman. So tonight, we're going to bring forward to you a set of proposed updates to the town's retirement plan documents, specifically our 457 and our 401A plans administered through Mission Square Retirement. So these updates are being driven primarily by changes in federal law under what's known as the Secure 2.0 Act, which modernizes retirement savings programs across the country. The act requires certain updates to all employer-sponsored retirement plans. Just leave it on the first slide. The act requires certain updates to all employer-sponsored retirement plans while giving plan sponsors, like the town, the option to adopt additional features that can improve flexibility for employees. At the same time, some members of our Department of Public Works have asked whether they can take loans against their 457 accounts and whether they can access funds they rolled into these plans from prior employers. Those requests are not covered by the union contract, but the timing happens to align with the federally required plan amendments, so we felt this was an appropriate opportunity to address both together. We would like to highlight the proposed changes we're recommending for the 457 and the 401A plans, the rationale behind each, and the reasons we are recommending that the loan feature be added only to the 457 plans at this time. We believe that approach provides flexibility for employees while protecting the long-term purpose of the 401A retirement funds. After I briefly walk through the highlights and some slides that we've prepared, I'll turn the discussion over to our HR Director, Lisa Puglia, who can explain the specific plan amendments, Mission Square's guidance, and how these changes would be implemented if approved. So this slide here summarizes why we're here: to review amendments required by the Secure 2.0 Act, consider employee loan and rollover requests, and determine how best to move forward. I'd like to note that no local tax dollars are affected, so this is purely about plan administration and employee options. Next slide, please. So as I've stated, DPW employees have approached the town about borrowing from their deferred compensation accounts and accessing rolled-in funds.
Hey, hang on a second, Rich. Kathy, I think you're one slide ahead.
There you go.
Okay.
So while these are individual requests, the town's retirement plan documents are already due for revision under federal law. So this is, as I've stated, the ideal time to evaluate those options. So the next slide. There you go. So Secure 2.0 was passed in 2022 to make retirement plans more flexible and accessible. Some changes are mandatory, like catch-up contributions and Roth options, while others are optional, giving the town choices in how we implement them. We are looking to adopt a balanced approach. Next slide. So under the revised plan, participants could, 1, make Roth contributions or access rolled-in funds, 2, access limited emergency withdrawals for things like disasters, birth and adoptions, or domestic abuse. 3, take in-service distributions after the age of 59 and a half. And then 4, participate in a loan program if they choose. These provisions bring the town into compliance and offer flexibility the employees are requesting. Next slide. So with regard to the 401A, the town has 9 401A plans, which serve as the core retirement accounts for employees since most don't have pensions. While some employees wanted the same loan option in these plans, staff in Mission Square don't recommend it at this time. Managing loans across multiple 401A plans would be complex, and allowing borrowing from primary retirement funds could reduce long-term savings. Next. So our recommendation, we recommend approval of the 457 plan amendments effective November 15th, that we limit the loan feature to the 457 plans only, and that possibly we can revisit the 401A loan options in the future if warranted. This keeps the town compliant, protects employee retirement goals, and then maintains manageable oversight. So if approved, Mission Square will finalize the plan documents by mid-November. The HR department will hold employee information sessions later this month, and then the new 457 loan feature would become active in December. This timeline will ensure a smooth transition and clear communication to the staff. There's some implications, though. So benefits and risks. Obviously, the benefits, town compliance, improved flexibility, and there's no town cost. The risks, however, if employees borrow too heavily, they could diminish the retirement savings. This is why we're taking a conservative approach, adding flexibility where appropriate, but avoiding unnecessary risk. Next slide. So we respectfully request that the council approve the 457 plan amendments effective November 15th, review, and if appropriate, defer the request to add a loan feature to the 401A plans, and then authorize execution of the required documents with Mission Square. So at this point, I'll turn it over to Lisa to provide additional detail and answer any technical questions about plan administration and implementation.
Thank you, Rich. The Secure 2.0 Act is legislation aimed at enhancing retirement savings in the United States. In the agenda packet that you did receive, you will see that there are amended provisions being requested. These are designed to align this with the Secure 2.0 provisions. I do support offering the loan option for the deferred compensation 457 plan. This is a voluntary tax advantage retirement savings plan with the town, with no town match. Employees may contribute a portion of their salary and can choose how to contribute within IRS guidelines. This plan is not subject to ERISA in the same way as 401 plans are. It is an optional plan allowing employees to invest their discretionary income. Administratively, overseeing this one plan, which is open to all of the town employees, is much easier than managing 9 separate 401 plans. By contributing to the 457 plan, the participant has already demonstrated that he or she has discretionary income and is more likely to be able to repay the loan, make the repayment loans. Contrarily, the town's 401A plans were established to replace the closed defined pension plan and aim to provide long-term retirement savings for our employees. An employee cannot borrow against the pension plan. Following this same thought process, they should not be allowed to borrow against their 401A plan. If a participant borrows from their retirement account, even temporarily, they interrupt compounding investment growth and diminish their potential retirement balance. Allowing loans can create a perception that retirement savings are easily accessible, encouraging participants to see their accounts as emergency funds rather than the long-term investments that they are. Under current regulations, plan sponsors may, but they're not required to, permit participants to borrow from their accounts within defined limits. While many investment companies, including Mission Square, offer this loan feature, an increasing number of employers have chosen to eliminate or at least restrict the loans in response to concerns about participant outcomes, compliance risks, and administrative burden, and more in favor of promoting the retirement security and financial resilience. So while 401A plans can appear to offer short-term relief, they introduce significant long-term risks to both the participant and the plan sponsor. Not allowing loans will protect participants' retirement savings from premature depletion and ultimately reinforce the plan's fundamental purpose to provide financial security in retirement and not liquidity during employment. The town pension plan does not allow loans. The 401 plan should be viewed in the same manner and not grant the loans. It is my recommendation that the town render prudent fiduciary judgment and not support the request for 401 plans. However, support the modification provided for the 457 plan, thus supporting its participants' financial security and mitigating risks to the town as the employer.
Thank you, Lisa. Any questions?
Yes, I have a question.
Mr. Reese?
President. So it sounds like you're going to educate people on that they could make some terrible mistakes in their future life if they do bad things now.
Correct.
Okay. 'Cause if you don't understand that, like you said, compounding and everything is unforgiving. I mean, you start out young and you can really make a
Correct.
difference. Okay, because that was my only thing is that they may see this as a big nut and oh boy.
Correct.
Well, it's not only compounding, it's penalties and interest that have to be paid back
Have to be paid back, yeah.
almost instantaneously. Repayment
So-
starts, immediately
Okay.
on any loan.
Correct.
Mr. Perro?
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. Rayner, and anyone could ask, are the collective bargaining units involved in this in favor of doing the one at a time versus doing both of them? Obviously, they probably want to do both, but are they in favor for at least doing the plan that's currently in front of us?
I can't speak for what the unions support or not support. This is a request by some union members, thinking that they would access, quote unquote, their money. Our issue is that this is a fund that is also funded by the town. It goes into a pool, which helps the entire pool of participants in the plan. And there's substantial repayment interests and penalties if you don't make the payment, which would hurt everybody if there's a default in the loan. So we just, using the exact same logic that applies to the defined benefit plan, you don't borrow from that. This plan, the defined contribution plan, was created back in 2012 timeframe, if I'm correct, to replace the defined benefit.
Yep.
So that our employees would have a retirement when they reach retirement age. My experience, I can only speak from my military experience, is that when you allow people to use those long-term benefits in a short-term mindset, those benefits disappear and they don't get paid back. It's too easy to find a reason to, or you look at that fund in a liquid way and use it to invest in new vehicles, car payments, house repairs. There's other venues that are available to the population. And I just don't think that it's wise to jeopardize the entire pool and look at this as a piggy bank. That's not what the town set this up for. The 457, that's yours. We have no issue with that. We just think it's too dangerous and risky to do this. So no, the unions have not approached us officially.
I only asked just because obviously when we're talking about with bargaining units, this is an all-encompassing plan. So I just want to see how that would kind of look like when we get to whenever those agreements are getting renegotiated. Obviously, I saw some gentlemen stand up, so I'm pretty sure they probably have something to say.
Yeah.
I kind of agree that doing with 401As are very tricky to begin with, especially because then you start getting ERISA involved and it becomes a nightmare and a headache. But I could see this being a good kind of middle ground. My then question is, as someone who has never done this, is there some type of, when let's say, for instance, I'm going to go tap into this plan, do I have to go through almost like a loan application process where a debt to income ratio is calculated and to make sure that I could sustain taking out this money against my own benefit plan?
So the account, you would go online to fill out this loan application with Mission Square. It will be based on 50% of your value of the vested value of the plan, not to exceed $50,000. I believe that we are putting in either a 3-year or a 5-year repayment option. There's also, if you are taking it out to purchase a home, you do have the ability to take it out for a longer period of time. We did not go to the maximum that the plan potentially offers. Again, we're running risks that of employees doing this, leaving employment, and then the repayment plan it just becomes difficult to manage.
I completely understand that, and thank you for the answer.
Yeah.
Spike?
Question, just for clarification, all members have access to a 457?
They do.
Thank you.
Ms. McDowell?
So, with this proposal, we didn't send it to the pension committee to solicit their feedback at all? Or because pension retirement? I mean, the people on that committee are pretty astute too, and I think they could give us some, solicit some feedback on that, but we didn't do that, right? And you didn't see the need or feel that we could get another opinion on this from people who deal with retirement and our own pension?
They haven't weighed in on anything in the past for 401s. And we did have internal conversations about whether or not the pension committee should be involved.
Yeah.
But just based on the fact that they haven't opined on anything on 401 in the past, we didn't feel that it was in their purview to make that decision.
Okay.
Right or wrong?
Yeah, that's all right. I think maybe we should consider that in the future, though. So I understand that the 457 is the Roth, and there is no town contribution to the 457. How many DPW workers are requesting this? Just a couple, or?
That's us right here. This is why we would like to see.
You can.
Yep.
You can just relax, so you'll be allowed to speak.
So do you have a number?
The people here, I believe most of the people here are
Okay.
interested in 457.
Yep.
I'm aware of one, possibly two for the 401, but I don't know that for sure.
Right.
And if we do this, most likely it will apply to any other union members, right? In other departments, right?
It would, because the 457 plan is one plan that is open to all employees, as opposed to the 9 different 401 plans that are individually negotiated by the collective and bargaining unit.
Right, so if we did this, it would go across the board.
Correct.
Yeah. And then this application, would Mission be the one that's making the determination on whether the application is accepted or not, and the
Yes,
terms, et
yes,
cetera?
and as long as they're an active employee, when they're filling out the information, they'll be told upfront how much is available to them.
And what the repayment terms and.
The repayment will be based on the number of years, months that you choose to take out the loan.
And there would be criteria as to what you could take that money out for, correct?
No,
There would not be criteria. So it wouldn't be, we saw some criteria listed here.
there's that, there's unforeseen circumstances that are IRS guidelines. They're unforeseeable. It's a very high threshold to meet. And that would have to go through my office to approve it before it gets approved. There are a couple of things that the town administrator had indicated, birth, adoption, other things that it's going to be nominal. It's about $1,000 that you can take out without needing to go through a lot of hoops, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be it wouldn't be 50% of your plan, up to 50% of your plan. I think it's like capped at $1,000.
So with no criteria.
Well, saying that you gave birth to a child or adoption, right?
In domestic abuse and births.
Okay. And how many other towns in Rhode Island have this option, are using this option? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't have that answer, no.
Okay, thanks.
Any other questions from council? Thank you, Lisa. Don't go too far. The floor is yours, sir.
This is the first time I've been here. I never met any of the council people, first meeting. I'm not even one to speak because I'm a little shy. I
You
always
just,
was.
you just do me one favor.
Yeah.
You're a little taller than Lisa. Can you just pick up the
Oh.
microphone and speak right? So, yeah, and your name and address, so for the record, thank you.
All right. Hello?
Yes,
Okay.
perfect.
All right, perfect. So, all right. Good evening. My name is Michael Corvin. I am a union member and also the union administrative official for the Department of Public Works. First of all, I would like to thank the town council for allowing me the opportunity to speak tonight. And also I would like to thank Mr. Rich Rayner and the town administrator, Lisa Puglia from Human Resources for being open-minded and responsive to this agenda. I am here with some of my union members who choose to support the proposed project of our retirement 457B plan and possibly look into new opportunities with the 401 retirement plan as well. Currently, our 457 is an optional plan that is not funded by the town, nor does it financially reflect on the taxpayer, and it is solely an investment with contributions towards a plan that is only attainable by each individual's personal income. When initially employed, we were informed under false pretenses by the prior investment company, ICMA, presently Mission Square, that our personal funds, if rolled over to the 457 plan, that our accessibility was available in terms that an employee would be permitted to borrow against it in a form of a loan or roll it back to their personal investment funds. On account of the existing rules and regulations that was implemented by the town in prior years, we, the employees, are not allowed to access our funds until full retirement age, a voluntary exit point, and/or discharge from services. We are simply making a logical and rational request to obtain our monies that rightfully belongs to us from the 457 plan. Now, in terms of the 401A plan, it's true some of our members, not everyone is looking to borrow off the 401A, but it is I believe, a good option to have. After I'll explain this, but in terms of the 401, which the town has a matching contribution, we are aware that it is a protective substituted retirement pension plan. Some of our members will like to request an open strategy to only borrow a loan against the investment, similar to an IRA or the 457 previously mentioned, and a variety of other plans are available on the market. Please understand that every individual's income and personal situation can be variegated. While some may beneficially borrow funds for their time of need, or they may simply have an objective with a strategic investment. Regardless of the circumstances, these changes can be an opening with new opportunities for existing employees, as well as the attraction of new hirees by furnishing the expansion of the town benefits with no financial cost. So now I finish with these words by thanking you all again for your time, and hopefully our request is sincerely taken into consideration. But I do want to add to Mr. Rayner's, I guess, advice. I believe he is correct with certain things, but we also have to look at a different side. If people were to fault on any of borrowing off any of these loans, whether it's the 457 or the 451, if you go to a bank and you apply for a loan for a car and you're already approved, obviously what you pay, you accept it. The only difference when you borrow off these plans is you're paying yourself back as opposed to pay the bank with interest. So how everything is chosen in terms of who qualifies, I don't really know how to answer that. Lisa would have to look into the details. Maybe some things could be regulated with borrowing of the loan, but I don't think it's something that we should shelter out and omit from the equation, because if you could get a loan to buy a house and a car, then obviously you could get a loan to pay yourself back, which only makes common sense to pay yourself back with interest rather than pay the bank. And Mr. Ron Smith here, he's going to speak about the 401. He's a union member also. Welcome.
Morning, council. Good evening, council. Ron Smith from Tiverton, Rhode Island, also a DPW member here in the town of Portsmouth. A while back, we started this with Mike. We spoke with Lisa and a few other departments here in the town hall. And we spoke about the 401A plan, which most of us have, not the 457. Some of us do have. And I do understand Mr. Reyna says that we will take this up in future meetings or things like that. But right now, with the law change and the plan have to be reviewed, I think that we should look at it all together as one package. You know, there's certain people that say that this is a savings account for us. That's not what we're looking at. It's more of like an emergency fund. As we all know, this time in life, everything's getting harder and harder out there. And this is just a way for us to borrow our own personal money and pay it back. We're not taking it from the program. We're paying it back. So the town's not losing. It doesn't cost the town anything. The money's not getting taken from the town. We pay back. They can set it up, either a withdrawal from our paycheck, or we can pay back right through Mission Square that I've talked to. And on the slide, they said that it would be, pull it up real quick, sorry. That Mission Square recommendation is no loan. I've spoken with Mission Square many of times to our financial advisor of Mission Square, emails back and forth, and it's all on the town's decision to allow us to do this, open it up. They never once told the town this is not a good idea. It's not their recommendation. It's all right here, up to the town and the town council to allow us to borrow against our money. And again, there's no fee to the town. It doesn't hurt the town. It doesn't do anything. Lisa had then said that it mismanaged or misled. I don't see that happening. We have a great department here. You guys do a huge budget. You guys manage all that. It's just a little bit of paperwork. And for some of us, this could help. We're not looking to buy new cars, but what if we can have the chance to buy a new home, the American dream to buy our home? We can borrow the money as a down payment, have a home, continue to live here, work here, and pay ourselves back. So I'm just asking that you guys would take the time to look into this for some of us too, on top of the 457, as it's a whole right now, because we can make changes right now instead of pushing it down the road. So I just asked the council to take that in consideration, and maybe it could help one of us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Appreciate it.
Just for point of clarification, I do have several emails from Mission Square that state that they would not recommend a 401 loan, even though they do offer it. They were in favor of the 457. As far as issues or ramifications to the town, depending on how many loans are made, or contrarily, the default, if there's a default, we run the risk of losing the tax benefit that the 457 or the 401 plan would offer to the whole of the employees. So again, just going back to the original, the 457 is a much more manageable plan. Again, it's a discretionary income that employees are already contributing to. There's less risk to the town, less risk for defaults.
And back to Mary's question, if we were to open it up to the 401A,
Yeah.
it would again go across the spectrum of all departments, which could allow for multiple amounts of money. Let's just say $50,000 per 100 employees. The 401A ceases to exist.
Right. And again, if a union wanted to come forward and negotiate that, I would say that that's where the request would need to come from. Right now, they have their vesting schedule, which is 20% up to, for 5 years, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So at 5 years, they're 100% vested. And then the 9 and 9, the 9% that they contribute, the 9% that the town matches, those are bargained agreements. Anything else as part of the plan really has been administratively decided. So if a union is looking to make a request to modify that, my suggestion is that it comes through a collective bargaining time.
I have one question about the timing on this. Why the 15th?
Oh, it's nothing specific. We were looking to get it done by the end of this year to be in compliance with the Secure 2.0.
Yeah.
If it doesn't happen by the 15th, we were looking to have it done by the end of the year. So we said by the 15th.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Some flexibility.
We hit a deadline because of some reason. Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Yes.
Just one thing I heard Lisa mention was that I understand the town can be, I guess, Xed, if you want to call that, compromise the retirement plans. And she did mention the 457 and the 401A. The 457, because it's voluntary, all you have to do is basically allow us to roll it out. If you roll it out, it can never be compromised or held against the town because it was never the town's money to begin with. Why, when I'm one of those individuals, actually our director's also one of them, and we rolled it over. If I could roll it back to my personal IRA, it doesn't affect the town because then once I roll it back to my IRA, I could borrow it from there or a personal 401. So if the town's concerned about that, just allow us to roll it back because some of us do actually want to roll it back out for all the reasons, investments and so forth. The 401A, it is a protective security pension that I understand completely. Okay, so I just want everybody to be aware of that. If that makes any
But
sense.
yeah, I mean.
It could be all confusing, 401s,
No, but the
457s.
recommendation from staff is to allow for the 457
Yes,
options,
yes,
but to defer the 401A until we can get a really much better understanding of it.
yes.
Specifically, I mean, there's a lot of penalties, interests. I mean, it could sink somebody pretty quick. If you
It-
don't,
it
if you don't have the money currently
Hmm.
to do what you want to be doing, to pay back a loan to, say, People's Credit Union.
Yeah.
That makes me leery of being able to pay it back with interest to a 401A that, and I'm just going to point to the two of you because you're sitting here, that you're taking from him or you're taking from him
Hmm.
because it's all in the same pool. Where
Yeah.
your 457 is your money.
Yes,
You're not hurting Mr. Smith. He's not hurting you.
yes, correct.
Not picking on the two of you, it's just because you're both right there.
But again, like I mentioned before, if we could come, I mean, we would have to sit down, obviously the union all vote on this, like Lisa said. But I think that if it could be somewhere designed where we could have some kind of regulation, like the bank does, they go through credit checks and so forth. I don't know if that's all legal, doing it with the 401s, but if you could do something similar to that, where, your income based on your expenses, everything averages out, okay, he can afford this much. Yes, I understand it's up to 50,000, but maybe certain individuals, based on their lifestyle, they might only be able to borrow 10, for 3 years or 5 years or whatever the amount of loans allowed, the amount of years the loan is allowed to pay it back. So, like I said, it's really no different than the private sector because you still work here, you're still paying for or investing into your 401s. And if you could go to a bank like People's Bank, use that example, and borrow money, there should be no difference. If they approve it, it should be no difference in you paying back your 401. We just have to somehow have structure in how to be able to allow a person in here, because everybody's income is different, to be able to borrow the money. And I just don't know the mechanics behind it, but somehow if we could work it out, maybe we could kind of satisfy everybody. And then the fact too that, like I mentioned, it opens it up an opportunity for new hirees by expanding the benefits of working for the town without any cost, Again, I don't want to see the town, the 401s be compromised by Mission Square where it's going to affect everyone because that's not fair to everyone either for just a few individuals. So, but that's up to management and finances. That's beyond my part. I'm just here to support it and definitely back up the 457 because it is our money and that's all good.
You and I are on the same page.
Yes.
57. The
Yeah.
problem with the 401A, in my mind, is that you're taking a loan against, or I'll use it this way. I'm taking a loan against Mr. Gleason's retirement account.
Yeah.
When you go to the bank and ask for a loan, they have a whole set of actuaries and look, and they take your risk profile and they look through it. And they put they have something to put against it. Unless you're taking out a personal loan, you're buying a car that they can repossess, you're buying a house that they can foreclose on. If you were to take a 401A loan and leave DPW, there's not much legal recourse for us to go after you with.
Yeah.
There's no equity for us to go after.
Okay. Now, would the town, I believe the town wouldn't be responsible after your 5-year investment, which is under the contract, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100% based on the year. So if you did leave the town, say you have over 5 years, the people under 5 years, they wouldn't qualify. possibly that's an option. And, you know, myself, I have almost 8 years here. So if I did borrow and I did leave the town, the only risks would be the IRS coming after me to pay the taxes because the money's officially mine. Does it put an impact, like Lisa mentioned, on, you know, I guess the next, what Lisa and I discussed, where you only have so many chances of, I guess, if people start to default on loans and then they don't want to deal with us, that's something that's completely different that I don't know. But the town wouldn't be at risk to chase after money if you have over 5 years, because it is your money. The IRS would come after you and you would have to pay those
Right, but
penalties.
you would be defaulting on other employees of the town as well. And
But how though, if it's your money at 5 years, after 5 years?
because you can only,
Borrow up to $50,000.
you're diluting the
50%.
pool that is being utilized to help fund their future retirements.
Okay.
And it also, to what you're saying, is if you default, this seems to me, and it goes back to Lisa's comment, that this is something that needs to be collectively bargained as to how, if we were going to go down the 401A route, it would have to be collectively bargained with the entire union
Yes.
to say, hey, if Joe leaves and sticks us with a bill, we have to pick up that bill,
Yeah.
the other remaining members. So that's something that the entire union should discuss
Yep.
and collectively bargain. The 457, I don't have a problem with because it's yours, like you
Yeah.
said. You came from wherever, brought it with you, put it in it. You're going to take it back out. The town has no interest in it other than holding it in their bank essentially, or their trust.
Yep. You understand? Yeah. So, okay.
So I understand what you're saying, Keith, with the, it's gonna hurt the town. That's why they're only allowing us to borrow 50%, up to 50%, not up just up to 50,000, up to 50% of our own vested balance. It's not in a pool of money. This is money that's already vested to us. For instance, if I go on right now and I have $100,000 vested in me, the max I'm gonna be allowed is $50,000, but I'm pulling that from what's already in my funds. That's not in anybody else's funds. Am I correct?
But yes and
And,
no.
and,
They-
and,
they
and
are
then you say,
labeled.
yeah, and then they're saying deplete the program. You know, I've asked another way on how we could do this and make it work. And what I got is, the only way you're gonna collect your money is you're gonna have to quit. So if I quit tomorrow and I take all that money, I'm depleting the program as well. So I think that there should be some option because I don't want to quit. You know, but if I have that option to buy my first time home, and I'm sure everybody would love to have a first, you guys probably all have a first time home. Some of us don't make 6 figures. And this is our chance to be able to do that, borrow against our own money. And the only other way to do it is, I was told, yeah, you have to quit. That's not the right way about this program, to quit. We can't even get people here to get to work.
The problem is if you borrow against a 401A, and even if it is for your house, and I'm not an accountant, I'm not gonna try and figure out IRS rules. The penalty for withdrawal and the payment schedule is gonna hamstring you for paying for that house.
Well, we're not asking for a withdrawal. We're asking for a loan. As like Lisa said, the loan for a home can be longer. We're paying it back. By the time I retire, I got only 5 years to pay it back. That's gonna be paid back. So I'm not taking from the fund and running. And if I do, it has nothing to do with the town. If you look on Mission Square's website, it's to do with the IRS and a 10% penalty, and it's on us. It doesn't come from my fellow mates. You guys don't have to chase me down. The town doesn't have to chase me down. I got to worry about the IRS coming after me. So I'm just asking if you guys could take that in consideration. As Mr. Reyna said, that we would look into this further, but if we're opening it all up right now, why can't we dig in and just take a hard look at this? It could help some of us out. That's all I'm asking.
I would like to table this to our next meeting. You know, it sounds like the 457 is
And I support that.
very simple thing, and it doesn't involve a ton, and it's their money, but still, you know, I see this on the agenda on Wednesday morning, and I'm trying to do as much research as I can, and now there's a lot of discussion here. All I'm asking is, can we table this to our next meeting? Give me an opportunity and maybe other council members to look in, because really, that door is going to be open with the 401A, with all this discussion. So I think it would behoove us to gather as much information we can, about how many other towns are allowing the 457. Have they run into any problems with that? I just think there are some questions that I would like to answer before I move on this.
And that's a great, because there are many other towns that do offer both of these programs
Yeah.
for all their employees. So I would encourage you to look at that. Thank you.
At this point, the 457 it's their money. If they want to take loans against it, that's their problem. Or not problem, but prerogative. Thank you. Much better word.
I guess one question would be, are there any concerns that we should be made aware of that other towns may be facing? It sounds very simple, Mr. President. I just want to make sure it is. That's all.
For 457, I would say no. 401A, I would say there's a lot of concerns. And that's why the recommendation from staff is do the 457 now and further investigate doing the 401A or not doing the 401A in the future. Mr. Reese.
Yes, no, I agree with what you just said. Do the 457, and there's a lot more information we need on the 401. You get us to talk about collective bargaining, going back and seeing them, getting more financial information. We can't do this sitting here tonight, getting a couple of opinions. So
No,
I'd agree with just doing the 457, and then this is gonna take quite a while to get all that information on the 401A.
Mr. President, so we don't beat a dead horse. Can I make a motion to move forward with and you can second it, the 457, with allowing for the 457 plan and deferring on the 401A plan until a further date?
Second.
Mr. Gleason.
Just for discussion, so if we pass this today, do we automatically extend this to all the other unions? I guess that's a question.
The 457, yes.
Okay, 457, all the other unions would be accessing this, and we don't need to take a poll of any of the unions for them to pass
No.
the majority.
It-
Okay,
The 457 is their rollover money that
very good.
is
Thank
open
you.
to them, or
And
Roth money.
I have a question. So if we go ahead and do that, the 401A, where do we stand on that? To when?
To when the union has a negotiation, and we can further dig into the costs. It is part of the collective bargaining.
I just would say defer just because, yes, it is part of a collective bargaining agreement. We discussed that when we discuss healthcare options. It's just, it's better suited.
It's
in
part
that
of their
location.
retirement plan, and it's in the collective bargaining agreement.
Yeah.
Mr. Kessin, you have a question or a comment?
Paul Kessin, 3241 East Main Road. You're probably not aware that I'm young enough to have a 401K. And in the company that I worked for, we had both hourly people, we had union representative, and we also had management. And when the company I worked for wrote a check, it wrote a check in my name. That 9% that the town put in my name, I'm using the town as an example, would be their money, and it's allocated and tracked differently than my 9% I put in. Fortunately, I didn't buy my family home. I bought my wife's. And again, I borrowed against my 401K. The huge penalty with that is you get a 10% on top of your tax rate. So your income can all of a sudden be $160,000. But I also am confused about the way I'm hearing this money. Because the people who have the 401K also get to invest according to their program what they want to invest. If they decide to invest in the S&P 500 for their money, the same thing happens with the town money that's written under their social security number. I would think that if Somebody's doing the S&P 500 and somebody's doing a real estate EFT is going to make more than doing bonds. And those are selections that the employees have. And they do, you know, in the past, they've always allocated the company's money under my name, and I got to invest it the way it was. And that's the way I thought this pension, this defined contribution pension plan was going to be set up from the beginning. Each individual would have his own money, and there was not a town pooled money. If in fact you wrote a check for 10 grand for Paul Kesson got 10 grand and then he put in his 12. And at the end of the day, when the clock turned December 31st, I was managing $22,000 on my own against my plan. If I'm very conservative, then in fact, I don't earn 15%. I only earn 5%. I don't see, because of the federal law and where I had my 401k, when you don't make a payment, they come get it. It just goes on your income. And oh, by the way, they then tax you at that 10% penalty if you're under the age of 59 and a half. But I would recommend that you send this to the pension committee. There are very bright people there, because some of them were there when I was there in 12, that will figure this one out and give you guys the right answer. I mean, if 457, if it's his money and he wants to be poor, take the money. But if he wants to take it and I don't know how Fidelity, who held our account, decided what the interest rate would be. I don't know whether it was set by, it was always more than the bond market, but it wasn't quite as high as the S&P. There was a percentage to borrow it, no different than a bank. And then there was a service fee that they charged 1.5%. So you paid 6.5%, but you really paid yourself back 5%. But when you could have earned that same money at 15%, you've also got that loss. And you're going to be a lot poorer on the other end of the stick when you start borrowing this money. But it will fulfill your ability to fulfill maybe your dream of having your own home. I would recommend that you send this back to the pension committee, or at least send it to them, and find out what the guys that get paid the big money to do this would do right.
It's not a pensionable item, but so. Lisa.
Just one of the points that Mr. Kesson made, the loan repayment would be prime plus 1% or prime plus 0.5%. It's a fixed amount, whatever prime is at the time the loan is taken.
Thank you.
I just have, Lisa, just one question. Like, if we were to vote on allowing the 457, how much does that involve you in terms of administrative work? Just
To get it going or after the fact?
Both.
Okay. To get it going, the e-documents are ready for me to sign. You have copies of them, so it's just a matter of
Yep.
me going in and signing them. Then it would be, I would like a maybe 2-week period to roll out the information to the employees so they understand it. Maybe targeting a 12/1 effective date for them to start taking, to consider taking out loans if they wish. At that point, we'll be monitoring to make sure that the loans are not defaulting. Again, that just goes back to the risk to the town
Yeah.
if it then becomes a distribution and not a loan. So if somebody defaults on the loan, they're going to get penalized for at 10% plus all the taxes. And then there's a ding against the town for having a defaulted loan. And that's what we're trying to avoid, because then we'll run the risk of losing.
This is just with the 457.
It's for 457 or the 401, but the 457, again, we feel is less risky because if somebody's contributing to the 457 right now, they want to take a loan against that, they can actually suspend that contribution that they're making and change and put that towards their repayment of their loan. The 401 is a set mandatory payment. They can't stop that.
Yeah.
So there's a motion and a second to approve the 457 and defer the 401 conversation to a later date. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Did you have one more comment or question? Or come on up to the mic, just that way we can hear you.
Just want to say one thing.
That's it.
When the gentleman was speaking, you don't get penalized unless you cash out your money. You could roll it over. It's tax-free because that's what I did. I took my IRA from my previous jobs. I worked for the military, I worked for the state, and my pension has a buildup. I rolled it over. Okay, so if we roll it back to an IRA, you're not getting penalized, you're not getting taxed. You only get penalized and taxed is if you decide to cash it out, which would be a 10% fee and then add it to your income. Mr. Mike Prue, he's the union treasurer. He wants to be able to access his money to actually pull it out and pay the taxes for his own personal investment. I possibly want to borrow a loan or roll it out so I have access to it and go that direction. And any other union member, which I don't think is many in DPW, they're going to make their decision what they want to do with the 457.
So as of December 1st-ish, you
Yeah.
have that ability to do that with the 457.
Okay. Whether we choose to take it out or borrow, correct?
That is going to be up to you and the IRS.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Perfect. Sound good? You wait for the answer?
Mr. Carvin is talking about two separate things. One of the things that we were looking at was approving the ability to take a loan. The second thing that we were looking to add to the plan is, as the town administrator had described earlier, modifying the plan. People who had rolled in money when they came to us from another employer, they don't have access to that money, and we don't feel that that's right. So what we're just looking to modify the plan, so any monies that they brought to us previously, they have the ability to take back if they wish. So it's not a loan, it's just taking back money that they put in when they came to us.
Correct, but if they do pull that out of a qualified retirement plan.
Not of the, no, not of the four, it's just, it went into the 457.
Okay.
Correct.
It could be a substantial penalty and interest.
The 457.
Yes.
That you rolled in previously.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Yes.
From, rolled, yeah, 457.
457.
Yeah, 457.
Yes. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Next up, new business number 5, request approval to submit applications to RIDEM for recreation grants and prioritize the 4 projects here, which are the Senior Center Open Fitness Facility, Elmhurst Park Recreation Facility updates, Weaver Cove Boat Ramp, and 3S improvements. Good evening, Ms. Hitchin.
Good evening, all. Have to stretch. I've been sitting for 2 hours.
Us too.
You have a lavish chair. I don't.
I don't know if this is a lavish chair. It doesn't breathe.
I am before you this evening, requesting you to review.
My kid.
What?
Kathy was putting up the backup and she hit the wrong button.
Oh. I'm requesting, standing before you to approve and submit the 4 DEM recreation grant applications that town staff have been preparing over the last month or so. I'll quickly go through them and reiterate that this money that is available through DEM is actually from a 2022 green bond that the Rhode Island residents approved for $50 million, and the $50 million went for anything from energy loans to municipal resilience, Narragansett Bay, Roger Williams Park Zoo, and these rec development grant applications. We did submit 3 applications last year. Only one of them was approved, and that was for the 4 Hearts. 2 of the other applications that were submitted were for the Portsmouth Senior Center Outdoor Fitness Facility, as well as Elmhurst Park Recreation's pickleball. So quickly going through the 4 apps. This year is the Portsmouth Senior Center Outdoor Fitness facility. Again, we really tried to target it since we do need a recreation component at the senior center. That one, oops, sorry, I was falling asleep at the wheel here. That is a grant, the project total is a little over $207,000. We, are required to, provide a 25% match. That is $51,920. And DEM could potentially pick up the 75%, and that is $155,761. Kathy, if you don't mind just pulling up the site plan with where we're proposing to put that. We've identified in that orange box, it's about 36 feet by 40 feet, just to the west of where the septic system is. That is also the general area of where the town will provide some sort of recreation component. And it is basically an outdoor circuit facility. We did not go off the beaten path. It's the same circuit facility that we asked for last year. It will not only be for the residents of the senior center, but it will be able to be used by anybody in Portsmouth. Going on to Elmhurst Park. Well, that's Weaver Cove. Leah, get with it. Elmhurst. Last year, we asked to do pickleball at the existing Elmhurst Park basketball court. And this time, we have asked in lieu of pickleball to just do basketball. There's, it's not big enough to do high school or college sized courts, but 2 youth courts instead. And we're asking to do a sound barrier wall, which can also be used as somebody playing racquetball or tennis by themselves, along with an ADA pathway from the parking lot down to the basketball courts. We are projecting that total project cost will be $246,000. A 25% town match will be a little over $61,000. So we will be putting in a grant request for about $185,000. The third one that at the start of January this year, my main priority goal was to find money for the Weaver Cove boat ramp. We have already obtained grant money for the planning and development of the new boat ramp and new pier and it's to replace the existing pier with ADA accessible piers and replace the existing boat ramp with a new one. Unfortunately, that project is estimated to cost $1.5 to $1.6 million, which is pretty pricey. The most money we're able to request from the DEM grants is $500,000 with a match of $166,667. So even if we got the $500,000 grant with the match we need to get, we're still in need of over $800,000. With the current federal issues we have these days, I don't know if we'll be able to still get the $833,000 from other grant opportunities. So I'm not prioritizing that grant too high, although at the beginning of January this year, I was really hoping to have that in place. The one thing that's holding us up is that, and I don't want to say holding us up, but we already have the permits required from Army Corps, CRMC, and DEM that will be starting to expire next year. That's not the worst case scenario because we can ask for extensions on those, which are always generally granted. The last application that we have prepared an application for is for the 3S soccer fields. I do think this is a little premature, but we are asking to ask for two soccer goals. Am I saying that correctly? Two soccer posts that actually two soccer fields will require 4 goals with 4 nets. So we're asking for the goals that will actually cost $13,000, which is, I'd say $600. Well, no, I'm completely off. So we're asking for that, and with a 25% match, we'd have to come up with 3249. So about $3,300, and hopefully DEM would provide the $9,700 dollars for that. So I did meet one of the requirements of this whole process is that there be a public participation process, and I met with the Parks and Recreation Department on October 29th and explained what I just told you. And they provided an advisory opinion that their top 2 applications were the Elmhurst Park and the Senior Center. They couldn't really decide which one they liked more or less. They wanted to go and submit those. And then the other requirement for this process is that there be a municipal approval, and that the town council has to actually rank them if there's more than one application being submitted. So that is what you're tasked with tonight, is ranking them and then blessing the applications. You don't have to submit all 4 of these. These are the ones that town staff and myself, Mr. Rodericks, Wendy Bulk, and Mr. Rayner sat down. We looked at our Parks and Rec master plan. Mr. Rodericks has a running list of all the parks and recreation projects we have in town that are ongoing, need work with, and we identified these 4 as moving forward.
Thank you. So our job as a council, and I'll take a stab at it, is to prioritize these. I think the senior center should be number 1. This is my personal opinion. Elmhurst 2, 3S3, and Weaver Cove, because of the costs. I mean, the town's gonna have to come up with $1 million essentially to fix that. I know you said the match and another 800, but if the total cost is 1.5 million and we can only get 75% of 500, or a max of 500 for
Correct.
the match. So we'd have to come up with $1 million to do the work down there, essentially. That just seems too pricey in our current budget situation to me. Anybody else have any other suggestions, Mary?
I just have a couple questions. Leah, when are these grants due?
They're due November 17th, no later than 3 p.m.
This November 17th.
Yes. You will notice that there's some empty spots. What you're reviewing is draft. Based on what you tell me tonight, we'll be able to fill in some of the blank spots. And I am still awaiting some further backup information from Megan O'Brien. She probably prepares 90% of the backup work for all 39 municipalities applying for these DEM grants.
Okay, starting with the senior center outdoor fitness facility. Now, the fitness, when we did the walkthrough, there was a fitness center inside there.
Yes.
So that doesn't qualify, I take it.
No, there has to be an outdoor recreation component. If you were here from the beginning of all this senior center conversations, there was going to be a baseball field, and then that became too cumbersome and expensive with the retaining wall that was involved. But we, as the town, have promised a recreation component.
Okay, so that was like part of the agreement or
Correct.
right? And I know you showed it to us up there. Uh, You know, I didn't see it here, but do you have what it's going to look like? Will you
Yes.
have to submit that?
Kathy, exhibit number 2, please. It's a circuit training. And it's generally for anybody age 13 plus.
And what does that take up in terms of area?
It's 36 by 40.
Oh, that's right. It was, okay. And so when, I went to one senior center meeting
Mm-hmm.
and they spoke at length about the parking situation,
Mm-hmm.
And during that conversation, I mean, I was convinced that they had enough parking but there was no mention at that meeting about this and what kind of spaces would be needed for this. I mean, there was no mention. That's odd, no?
I'm surprised that there was no mention of any recreation component since
That
we've been
would bring
talking
in
about it for years.
Parking, yeah.
Mhm.
So,
I don't foresee this being a highly used facility by people who are going to drive there to do it.
In the plans, there's the ability, and Paul can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's the space to add 8 spaces for
Right.
this,
for this,
Off
For
the side of
this.
Brownell.
It does say that in there. Yeah.
in the
For
grant
this
thing,
outside
yeah,
unit.
Yeah, but I mean, at this meeting,
No,
it was,
it's not.
yeah. Okay,
So just, be sure, this isn't part of the senior center. This is town property,
right,
right, that we want to put. It's adjacent to where the senior center is, hoping that the residents there and the senior
Okay.
center members will be able to take advantage of it.
okay. Can I move to the Elmhurst one now?
Sure.
I have,
Are you done with senior center?
I think so. My
Okay.
questions, yeah. The Elmhurst one.
Sure.
Well, there wasn't an amount, but you filled it in tonight, so I was wondering about that. It says we received DEM grant in 2013. You used the master plan schematic drawings to secure, only got done the grading, the seating, and the new parking lot. Was that with those funds that we got in 2013?
Yes,
We did that.
that was before my time.
Yeah, no,
Okay, just confirming.
that's mine too. Phase 2, which is the phase we're going to be in with this grant, will do the ADA compliant walkways and the upgrading the basketball things. That's it, right?
Correct.
Okay, and so there'll be another part of, if we went back to the master plan, there'll be another phase that will have to be part of this, right? That is not covered by any grant. If we go back to the documentation for this initial project way back, correct?
Correct. If you go to page 13 of 22, there was a master plan
Yeah.
done by VHB that shows
Yeah.
like a atrium and
Yeah, it showed
it showed like various things and whether that ultimately gets implemented.
it's a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how come you didn't put the disc golf on that?
I don't want to bring that up tonight.
Well, you had everything else. I was just, wondering why that wasn't on there. And then my last thing with both these two that were recommended by the Parks and Rec, and the grants say that there, should be a meeting and stuff, a public meeting or whatever. Do you believe that that is sufficient for a public meeting? That input that you got?
I could have sent it to the planning board. I have the application, instruction sheets and the additional requirements other than, filling out the completed application says project sponsors shall hold at least one public meeting or hearing with proper notice not more than 6 months prior to grant submission to ensure the proposed project has been thoroughly vetted and public officials and residents support the project before the application is reviewed. This is required for all project categories regardless of funding levels. Submit the agenda and meeting hearing minutes demonstrating that the project was presented and discussed at a meeting hearing of either the town, city council, planning board, or other similar public hearing. So not only am I going to a different outside board or commission, I'm coming to you too.
Right. No, I was just,
I tried to be as transparent as
Yeah.
possible, and because the Parks and Rec Committee, this is what they do, I wanted to go to as many boards as possible.
no, I understand. I just think that, October 29th, going to a Parks and Rec board, that I looked back for as many meeting minutes as I could see, and they hadn't discussed these things, that's all. And so I don't know, I have a problem with that, I guess. That's all.
What would you have liked to seen different? So
Well-
I'm just asking for constructive criticism. So next year, if the Rhode Island voters vote for more bond money, I can be better at doing my job.
No, I think what, if you're going to go to Parks and Rec, then Parks and Rec probably, and maybe they did, I just couldn't find it in the minute, should have discussed these things, right? Prior to your going to them, correct? I mean, in the ideal world, right? And I couldn't find that. So that process, I think, I have a problem with it. I am a process person, and I think there was a problem with the process. That's all. These monies, we have to secure, for sure. We should be doing it. It's just, I think that the process can be refined a bit. That's all.
I'll take the blame for that because
No blame.
No,
I
it's
said
not
if I
blame.
may just step in here, there's no blame to be assigned. So Leah, you're doing a great job. This was all tied, as she stated right from the beginning, to the Open Space Facilities Recreation Master Plan, which did receive considerable public input. We're tying it to that, and these are priorities that have already been discussed in previous grant applications. There wasn't a lot of notice for this, and we have to get this in by the 17th. So Leah was doing her job.
I in no way insinuated that she wasn't. I'm hoping, Leah, you didn't get that. And I just, I think when a member makes some recommendations as to how we can maybe look at doing something different, I just don't think we should jump down their throat, that's all.
I will say all four of these projects have been in the pipeline for multiple years. Weaver Cove has been a pain in the neck for years between silting over and everything else. The basketball courts have been in disrepair down there for years since Elmhurst was knocked, well, prior to Elmhurst being knocked down, they've been in bad shape. 3S, I don't even want to get Mr. Gleason started on that one. And then the senior center, because of what happened, we had filed an application and we wouldn't be doing it now if it didn't get denied last year, 2 years ago. So, well, no, last year, last May.
Okay, well, I do still have a couple more on the.
Okay.
Just so I can finish this, and it's not anything, Leah, about your job that you've done or anything. I have some questions, that's all.
I will fully disclose that I didn't know when the Parks and Rec Committee met. Apparently, they met on October 16th, and I had asked on like October 17th, hey, when do you meet? I was like, oh crap, well, you've already met, so can we have a special meeting?
And it happened.
And it happened. That's how I found out.
Yep. So the Weaver Cove boat ramp, I read in there that the town is responsible for the grounds maintenance and the Rhode Island DEM is responsible for the boat ramp and pier maintenance. So how does that jive with this grant then?
This is one of my own, I wanted to put this in so DEM saw this as, hey,
Yep.
Portsmouth is trying to get money and hoping that DEM would see this, because we have been not arguing, but discussing who is in charge of what. Because I think there had been a gentleman's agreement at some point. We can't officially find anything in writing that DEM would help us as the town find grant money. And they haven't been doing that, which is why I wanted to at least submit this application. Due to the current political climate, I don't think even if we got the $500,000 grant, we'd be able to find the remaining $833,000. But at least we are making the attempt.
To bring it to their attention?
Yes.
To get them to know?
Yes.
Now, is this something that we can bring to our legislators?
Sure.
Do you, is that?
I believe we have talked to higher ups on it, and then it just gets lost in the weeds, but that's why my reason is to
Yep.
really get this in front of DEM.
Okay. The other thing with that, there's a Weaver Cove project that's in the making too, right? So.
Yes.
My thought process when I'm reading all this is, I want to know what's the real status of that project, and might this possibly be taken care of, or is it a moot point if this development comes to be?
The Weaver Cove boat ramp is immediately south of the WC development project, which consists of 400 residential units, 350
Right.
marina, as well as retail and restaurant components. I've just talked to the lawyer who represents that, and they're still moving forward. I think there's been holdups with soil remediation and a lot of state and federal permitting that needs to be done. But I think it quite possibly could tie in well as like a transportation-oriented development, especially with the rail survey that is currently going on that Mr. Rayner mentioned earlier. The railroad has becoming a hot topic with the potential of ultimately connecting to Boston at one point in a grand utopia, or, you know, with the NOAA building and Coast Guard cutters coming in, could really be a connecting point to Newport and really have an opportunity for some residential construction for those people that need some potential housing.
Right.
But the Weaver Cove boat ramp and the Weaver Cove project are two distinct, different.
They're
Yeah.
different, but I'm just thinking that with this big development, you know, maybe there's some wheeling and dealing that could take place, this could be a.
I think the WC development should definitely be a stakeholder in any sort of rail conversation.
Yeah, okay. And then the 3S field improvement. We've talked, you know, as Mr. Gleason has brought up several times, that this is something that was voted on long ago, before your time, before my time. We've also heard just last week, I think, that, or 2 weeks ago, that in order to do what Mr. Gleason has advocated for since I've been here, and not let us forget, in order to do that, it's going to come to the tune of $225,000. And it was mentioned that we'd if it came to fruition, we'd be using South Coast monies. Why couldn't we do something like that for the 3S fields, like in a grant to help with this $225,000 price tag, do you know, in a grant, rather than, rather than goalposts or whatever we're doing? Could we do that? I know it's under the gun, but,
I believe that it's an ineligible project.
oh,
Projects that are on primary involving planning without proposing new or expanded recreation resources. Projects that are primarily for normal maintenance and repair of facilities.
like the senior center is a new project, right?
It is a new project, but we're actually buying equipment for the installation.
Yeah.
We're also installing new fields. So I would think it would fit, but
I'm gladly debate the conversation with you,
I mean, what's the worst they could say if we put it in? No?
but it definitely doesn't include like the irrigation that we want to do and is considered a high priority for the fields.
But if
Um,
we were able to get 50% of the funding to do the site work to create the fields, because I know, so I'll go back to Narragansett got their turf field put in with a recreation grant
Yeah.
a few years back
Mhm.
at the high school. So I would think soccer fields would fit, just like a basketball court would fit.
Mhm.
And if we were able to get 50% of the money, that's 50% we don't have to come up with, and we can use that money to do the irrigation that we can't afford to do right now.
I guess I would have to ask
That's Megan.
Mr. Rodericks if plans are ready to go and be submitted by November 17th.
And Paul's gonna say, of course they are. I have them right here in my hand.
We do not have quotes for the the turf fields, and gotta remember, the whole project was years ago at $1.2 million. So 225 is getting you 2 soccer fields in, and no parking, no restrooms. I think this project needs further planning.
Yeah, septic system is 60 grand right off the bat, right? Yeah. So,
That's why I did not raise 3S higher than I would have liked to.
oh, you said, Mr. Reese, you had a question?
Yes, no, it's just on the Weaver Cove boat ramp. Isn't the boat ramp and the dock, they're both DEM structures? They're owned by the state, right?
Yes.
There's a.
And they're
condition-
not on town property.
There's a condition to that, though. The documents that pertain to those structures also had an expiration date. So DEM is standing by the fact that those documents no longer apply. So in our conversations with them, their commitment is that they will try to help us find grant money for those facilities, but they will not take responsibility for the replacement or repair of those facilities.
And we can build structures on state property? Because the state owns everything below the high water mark. That's the rule. That's why I was just curious. It's not on town properties, and we don't own it, and we don't control it. So we'd be building something on a land that belongs to the state of Rhode Island.
And ultimately, the organization that is not funding this will be the one that has to approve anything that we do there. It's catch-22,
Oh.
and we've been dealing with this for years.
Okay, interesting.
Ms. Patton?
Yeah, I just had a question, Leah. Earlier for the senior center grant, you said for the residents of Portsmouth, I believe in the paperwork, it says Aquidneck Island. So is that gonna be,
Yes, it can be used by anybody, just like the Four Hearts Playground. Anybody can use it.
and it'll be, who would be doing like the scheduling? Would that be through Park and Rec or would it be through the senior? center?
After talking with Wendy, she was going to have classes, not only by herself, but hiring a professional to teach people how to use the equipment for residents of the senior center and for anybody that was interested in using the equipment.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Gleason. Thank you. Just a comment and my 2 cents worth. I concur with Councilor McDowell from the standpoint of the public hearing, I guess not public meeting, if you will, would have been better if maybe you just found out about this grant. It just seems like it was kind of rushed that we had to get this done. And a better way would have been Mr. Rayner to say in his town administrator's report, there's going to be public meeting and we could have it here. So more people that might be interested in it could have attended. I'll just leave it at that. The order that the council president left these if we went with Elmhurst #1, the senior center #2, 3S, and Weaver Cove, I'm perfectly fine with.
I went the other way.
You want the other way around?
Senior Center 1, Elmhurst 2.
Okay, that's fine. I just want to add, as far as the 3S field improvement goes, I think that's the shortest dollar amount that we're asking for. But I just want, if we're going to ask for something, I think we should call it a playing field and not a soccer field, because I'd have to look back at what we approved in 2007, but I don't think we just said it's going to be a soccer field. I mean, we could still play lacrosse there, so I kind of feel like
It was listed as multi-purpose fields. I
it's a
believe, yes.
multi-purpose field, so we're kind of missing out on buying a lacrosse net as well, which I would hope is a lot cheaper than
I would think so.
be a big aluminum soccer nets. But for what it's worth, I think we should be still moving forward with playing fields, and that any youth group could ultimately, hopefully, play there someday. The whole irrigation thing is something that I think the soccer people were pushing for, and I don't know if that should be a town expenditure. And it's not really here nor there on this particular subject, but
Yeah.
it could be added after the fact,
Yes.
Anyways, that's my 2 cents. And
Is the council still desiring to move forward with the 3S submission?
Yes.
yes, I am.
Because even if you put it in for 3S, and we don't do the fields the fields won't be ready for 24 months, even if we started tomorrow. We could use the soccer nets someplace else.
Okay.
So if they were to give us the money for the soccer nets, we have usually 2 years to expend that money anyways. So yes, go forward with it so we can at least get rid of that expense.
I mean, if DEM has like $10,000 left and is trying to squeeze in we could get 10,000, so.
Yep.
Okay.
So Leah, these grants come up once a year?
No, this is actually the last year
No,
of
of
the,
that-
of the bonds from that 2022 Green Bond Initiative. It may come up next year, a similar question, so only if the state residents pass it.
Okay. Could you, in deference there to Mr. Gleason, could you put that on your radar if these grants do come up for the 3S properties?
Mhm.
Because it is such a big price tag.
Mhm.
Thanks.
Yeah, they come up every 2 to 3 years.
Well,
Yeah,
we
again,
could
like,
still be in the same boat.
Yeah,
And
like,
so-
Ms. Hitchens said, it's based on availability of bond grant money. So do we have question? Yes, Ms. Mike?
I do. My preference would be the order that they're presented here: Senior Center, Elmhurst, Weaver Cove, Boat Ramp, and then 3S Field.
make a motion.
Oh, the order on the paper.
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Never mind.
looking to get what order we want it in before we put a motion forward.
I would do Weaver Cove last.
Leah, if,
Yes.
if you have these 4,
Mhm.
and let's say the last 2, that Weaver Boat, I mean, I know it's a project that you've, you know, that you've wanted, so, but does that jeopardize the other two that you really want to put your, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
By-
I will note that if you have more than three, the fourth or the lowest rated application does not get any points. This is all point-based
Yeah.
system. So
So if you have four, three are really only considered, right? Based on a point.
I'm trying to find it on the application. Does anybody find it hot in here? Cause,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Senior centers.
We'll just blame it on Paul. He turned the AC off too early.
Yeah, but I just wanted to find out, like whatever you rate the highest, for number one, you get like 5 points. Whatever you rate number two, that one gets 4 points. Number three gets 3 points, and number four doesn't get any points.
So should we agree upon an order first?
Yes, you have to, you have to
Yes.
rank
You have
them.
to have a motion with the order
So
in the motion.
I make a motion for the approval to submit applications for the 2025 Rhode Island DEM Recreation Grant and for the prioritization of Portsmouth Senior Center, Elmhurst, 3S Field Improvement, and then Weaver's Cove Boat Ramp.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Thank you, Ms. Hitchin.
Thank you.
Next up, item number 6, Narragansett Electric Verizon want to move a pole out of somebody's driveway. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0. Sorry to steal your thunder, Paul.
It shows how much we love and trust you.
It's a quiet time. There's no.
And a half is quiet.
Thought we had a picture of that.
Yeah. All right, so we have our next meeting on the 24th, which is the week of Thanksgiving, and then we have December 8th, where we're going to do our legislative priorities. Has everybody got their legislative priorities in? I said to Mary, because you have a question about recreation and DEM, if you could forward that off so that we can have it. I would like to have these for the 24th so that we can give them to our legislators prior to the 8th so that they can research prior to the meeting on the 8th.
Mr. President, could I trouble you to dig up the ones from last year? Because more than likely
Yeah.
they have not been done.
Yes, those were second meeting in January last year.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes. That what you wanted to do with the recreation
I just.
or DEM with Weaver Cove? DEM with Weaver Cove. Got it.
Motion to
Do
adjourn.
you need anything more than that with it? Not yet. Not yet. Need anything more than that?
You wanted to address December 22nd?
Yes. I haven't gotten there yet, but do you need any more than that for the legislative priorities discussed with the legislators, DEM's involvement with Weaver Cove?
Got it.
You're saved. Does anybody want to meet Christmas week here as a town council? Everybody said, yeah, no.
No.
Your kids aren't, no, they're not out of school yet, are they? Oh, that's
They'll
good.
be out of school.
Traditionally, we take this meeting
Yeah.
off. Unless there is something earth shattering, I don't think we need this meeting. And staff would like to take this meeting off, specifically this one smiling behind you, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, I felt it.
Need a motion?
A motion to,
Motion to cancel the December 22
Second.
meeting.
any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 7-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?